Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures, little change so far this morning, coming off pretty solid performance from last week with the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow all ending the week in positive territory. The NASDAQ, little change, but we did have the S&P back in record high territory. So we're kicking off Monday back in record high territory here. Boost for sentiment over the weekend as President Biden said he will go ahead and not veto the Republican version of the infrastructure bill that is set to come through anytime either today or tomorrow across his desk anyway, saying that over the weekend. So we'll keep an eye on that news coming out of Washington as the day continues. Friday, we saw, as I said, the S&P ending the day at a record high. The Dow up about 237 points. It's sitting less than 2%. From record high territory. Major piece of economic news this week is going to come on Friday in the form of June jobs data. Friday morning, 8:30, mark that down, will be important. Economists expecting 683,000 for June. Last month, you remember we came in at 559,000 for May. Individually this morning, we're watching PaySafe shares, the payment processor, back in positive territory, up again this morning after a big move on Friday. We'll talk about that coming up. We'll talk about the squeeze stocks as well. AMC having a nice morning so far in positive territory. Big numbers for movie theaters for the first time since the pandemic started over the weekend as well. It's Monday, June 28th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at how things stand at this point. You can see, NASDAQ trying to bounce a little bit here, 0.3% to the upside, the Dow negative. We have the S&P, little changed so far. Crypto's trying to bounce as well. Nice look for Bitcoin at the bottom there, 6%, 7% to the upside for Ethereum. Brazil open trading lower. We had crude to the downside there as well. Good morning, guys. Monday, brand new week. It is going to be an interesting one here. We have individual names to talk about, including AMC. Yeah, I read this morning 70 million for that the latest edition for Fast and the Furious movie over the weekend, F9. Yep. 70 million. That's the highest number since the pandemic started. So lots of people going to the movies again.
Yeah, and apparently they're still going to see that movie, or those movies, I should say. I mean, shout out, what an unbelievable success those stories have been. Good for them. AMC was so asleep last week, so it'll be interesting to see if it can hold up after doing some increased volumes. Pre-market getting a bit of a bounce on that news, but it was really, really sleepy time on AMC. We're going to get some interesting things in this week. Of course, we have at the end of the week, we got some jobs numbers, but we do look forward to the return of Krispy Kreme on Wednesday. That should be interesting. DD is a big IPO. That comes through on Wednesday, and then the only real earnings that we have are also coming through on Wednesday. So there's movers this morning. Virgin Galactic still on the move after last week's crazy run. So we're very, very excited to watch this one today. I expect it to be another barn burner there, Sean. So it was nuts. Obviously, the price action you saw on Virgin Galactic on Friday. Let's see if it doesn't creep towards that 62.80 high, although seeming like it might be going the other way.
Yeah, 62.80, the all-time high there on space. I just wanted to clean up my charts here for this PaySafe. I thought I did, and then all of a sudden it's a mess again. So anyways, PaySafe up here again, another 3 and a bit percent. We crushed it on Friday a couple times. This is our long, where was it? Where's our long early? Long early right there on Friday, right when 12.30 broke, all the way to the upside 13, our best out 12.80. That's basically where we are now. So we will look at PaySafe. I hope everyone had a great weekend. It should be, a good one. I think it'll be a little slow heading into like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We talked about FOMC meeting notes coming through, and then of course there's CPI and the jobs report. It's really, a lot of states. Maybe I think we'll talk to Mark Roberts about this, but there's a lot of states that are cutting back on some of the funding there for, the employment funds, and then now you have people that don't want to go to work. They can simply make more money sitting at home. So we'll see how this affects the hospitality, restaurants, dining, all that kind of business. So apparently it's a big deal. I don't think it's a little bit of a problem here in Canada, but we don't have the same employment benefits and everything that keep rolling out all over the place. So it should be a fun one. It should be an interesting summer. We'll watch CCL, we'll watch PaySafe, we'll watch AMC today, and we're just super excited to start another week.
Yeah, CCL doing some volume here in the pre-market. RCL, interesting note over the weekend, the first cruise ship for Royal leaving a U.S. port since the pandemic started as well, with paying customers on board. So we'll watch the cruise lines coming up here. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Happy Monday, traders! I hope you had fun this weekend and ready for a productive week. Guys, please make sure you like this video and let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. Want to talk about Boeing a little bit here. Speaking of travel names, Boeing to the downside. There was a note from the FAA regarding the 777, saying it's nowhere near ready to certify the plane for commercial use. So yeah, down about 1% here for Boeing on that news, guys. They're talking about 2023 at the earliest for certification.
Yeah, Boeing's getting to that point where I think it's if you ever get that market correction, it's setting up for like a possibility to give you a nice little value buy here. But it's been pretty sleepy. We're not reacting too heavily to the news. We're only down about 1% here. But you kind of look back into like the 50 period, and if this trend continues, you're probably to continue to retest it around that 240. You just can't seem to get enough of a positive runway, for lack of a better pun, to get back up towards that like even just this lower high at 262 would be interesting enough. I think we're probably headed back down towards like the 230s, and then a chance to maybe like get a bit of a long in front of that. I would much prefer you're catching this one much deeper than that, though. I think patience is the name of the game for Boeing. If it was cresting towards like this 235, 240 range, I feel like that would give you a more of a day trade to the downside here. I don't know that I can play the momentum here in Boeing, and anyone that likes it, I like Boeing, I'm in Boeing. I just think you have to be really, really patient in case of buying dips here, because it can't seem to get themselves off the schneid.
Yeah, I mean, Boeing's been, this is the 777X, right? So, this is not going to affect any of their current plans, I wouldn't think. Maybe just delay them a little bit, but the 737 MAX still, that's the name of the game right now. We're going to wait for a 260 break. Once you get to there, then you're cruising. Like, we're near, it's not going to be obviously all-time highs, but we're getting near its most recent high right now of 270. So I like Boeing here. I don't think it's a problem. I'm not worried about the stock. It's at 240 as the 50 period moving average here on a daily chart. I think you got good support, it seems like, anyways, between, call it 205 up to 230 and change. So you do have some support in there. I like Boeing for a day trade. 163,000 is really nice, so I don't have a problem with that. We're a little low right now. I'd rather see how the market's going to take this news. For me, it's not super negative, so we'll wait on here. The imbalance locator, I don't even see Boeing. I see Palantir down here. Everyone's going to be happy about that one. And then Nike has a sell off of a big week last week, which I said about 155, 154 was a pretty good sell, but it's held up, so that's been really nice as well. But for me, Boeing and the Dow, the market keeps going up, Boeing keeps going up. Dividend is safe. We'll wait to see what happens with Boeing. But I like the stock. I've been owning it. I've been buying it between those prices, 200 to 220. That's where I like it, and that's where I've been buying it. And I think it's a great long-term hold.
Mark Roberts, president of Sun Lake Strategies, joining us as per usual for a Monday morning to kick off a brand new week. We'll get his take on what to expect for Mark. It's the last 3 days of June here, so the month is gone already. We're heading towards July. Good to see you. Let's discuss from an overall standpoint. First off, as we said, we're kind of heading into more summer trading, as we like to say, lower volume, lower volatility. There's a long weekend coming this weekend as well. What do you expect this week?
Oh, I think it's going to be more of the same out of Washington, back and forth. I think you're going to have some earnings reports that will not be anything out of the ordinary, whether it's staple stocks saying that there are issues, guidance going forward because of how they were pre-pandemic, during pandemic, and post-pandemic. No surprises there after Campbell's soup. I think Bitcoin still looks lower. I think the dollar acts higher. I think everything is basically in place for more volatility, lighter volume, and funds squaring their books into a long weekend.
Let's talk about travel here for a second. A number of different angles we can kind of take this on. This morning, we just mentioned Boeing there with more possible delays as far as the 777X is concerned. I want to focus on the airlines and the cruise lines, though. We have some new restrictions globally, as well as within the U.S. as far as flying and that Celebrity cruise ship leaving a U.S. port for the first time over the weekend. This new Delta Plus or Delta variant of COVID-19 obviously going to be the sticking point as far as some of these stocks are concerned going forward. I guess the point here is, we have to kind of expect this to be the norm going forward, that there's going to be these question marks as far as these travel stocks are concerned.
Yeah, I don't think we can get away from that for the foreseeable future. I think the CDC, it has some serious messaging problem because now I'm reading they prefer you to wear masks. So they see that the Delta variant is going to be a very strong variant coming through. The question is, if you've had your double Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, are you okay? My guess is yes, from the readings I've had, but would I still want to get on a cruise ship? I'm not sure. I hold off for another year or so. Everyone I know is flying. That hasn't slowed down anyone. And the economy is open.
And it seems, I mean, we were talking about, AMC moving again this morning, theaters or theater goers back, in full effect, pre-pandemic levels, in fact, for movie numbers over the weekend, which is great to see out of the U.S. especially. Let's talk a little BlackBerry here. We had John Chen back on Friday saying he kind of completely dismissed this whole meme stock angle as far as BlackBerry is concerned. Does that affect this at all today?
I would say probably not. The stock is coming back into filling a gap, which is always important for me. The risk is 10 5/8, or I should say 1064. And what worries me is it needs more of a catalyst to take you back up. I don't see the catalyst right now. Words are cheap, and yes, you can defend your stock, but until there's a real catalyst, I stay on the sidelines.
Yeah, speaking of messaging, I don't think his was planned very well going into that interview. As far as Tesla is concerned, what do you think of this China story this morning? Almost 300,000 units coming out of China to be recalled. They've already come out saying it's a simple software fix and they can do it remotely. They don't even have to have physical touch of each individual car. What do we see with Tesla here? It had a big positive move end of last week.
Yeah, I would imagine you'll see buyers on the dip into the gap area, which is around, let's call it 658. Anything into that area, I think you'll see buyers. This 710 area is going to be a problem. So for now, I stay sidelined. If it dips, I'd be more interested.
Hey, Mark. Yeah, we like. Thanks for coming on. And I'm also noticing that I think it was red you wore on Friday, and Neil sort of mentioned that. And then today you switched over to green. The markets are up today. This is a very, very positive move. And although we did stay positive on Friday, so we have a little thing here. I don't know. Valeria wears green, and it seems to always work. So she's on a little streak here with her green. So thanks for supporting the cause there, Mark. A big week, obviously, this week and heading into next week was CPI. We got your notes this morning, and thank you again for that. Sun Lake Strategies, fantastic job on the morning notes and some of the research reports. The Friday, obviously, we have the jobs report coming through, and then CPI next Tuesday. I call up the market here. This is just a 1-minute chart here, so I'm going to actually switch this over to a daily. I mean, I don't have to tell you this, but the run that this market's been on, pretty nice. Whether or not we're getting topped out here, I don't know. We just broke out of the S&P, so we're at 42,760 right now, and 42,76, and looking to break higher. What do we think about the jobs report? We all know the rhetoric right now about not enough workers looking for work, I guess. And you sent a note out as well about that the age group right now, more 4 million unemployed and not even seeking jobs or study. So where are we here? Like, does this fix itself come September, October, once we're through the summer? I know that we have employment benefits. I started the show a little bit like this that are coming off. Hopefully, I believe it's going to be September. So are we in trouble, do you think? What are we expecting this Friday and then moving forward with some of the jobs?
Well, I feel like I'm on a super highway. I have the COVID variants in one lane, and I have unemployment benefits coming off in the other lane. So the question is, if the states that are fully open do not get resurgence as people feel more freedom and these benefits come off, I think those are the winning areas. But if this variant does take a double hit, and you start to see those that are not vaccinated starting to get hospitalized, I think the PR or the communication, if you will be different going forward. J&J has to deal with whether or not there's a booster needed. That could be a messaging issue going forward. But on balance, I think the states are right to take off the benefits and force employers to bring back those workers.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, as long as they're given a fair wage, I guess that's going to be kind of the next discussion there. And I heard some whispers of President Biden looking to do something there with that minimum wage. So I guess that'll be another thing. And I don't think that's a negative necessarily for industry, right? Because they need to get higher quality, and they need to get happy workers, and they need to get them back in sitting in their desks, and especially the hospitality industry. You talked about a lot of people looking to fly, and maybe yourself even a year from now being more comfortable going to some of these places. You sent us the story, and I'm going to call up Disney right now. Mark, you sent us a story about Disney looking to, what was it, give about $1,000 bonus, I believe you mentioned there.
Correct.
To ramping up staff. Do you think that's something that is going to maybe be an industry practice at some point, or are we maybe a one-off here with Disney? Because Disney stock has held up relatively okay. I thought it may have even dipped a little bit more once we broke through 180, but we did hold sort of that 170 level. So what do you think, about not, I don't want to say bribing, but giving that extra motivation to employees that come through? I'm not sure how many businesses can do that. And I don't know if I like that move by Disney. Do you have any opinions there, and maybe how that may affect the stock?
These should be short-term fixes. Short-term fixes are okay, long as there's a long-term benefit. The long-term benefit is getting people back into the stage of, I want to be here, I want to work, this is a good employer, and I'm getting a fair wage. If you can pull that off by giving them a bit of an incentive, I'm all for it. You just have to get workers back. There are so many restaurants that I've been around in New York City that are either closed or hours are off because they can't get full staff. You got to get the workers back.
Yeah, no, I mean, give people confidence that when they go out to these restaurants, that they'd be open and they get the service that they require. Before I let you go, Mark, I have to ask you about one name, and it's going to be DraftKings, so I'll give you a minute to call that up. DKNG, DraftKings. I always get asked about this on Twitter. I get messages about this. My friends always want to know about it because, hey, quite frankly, our age group and especially during the pandemic and sports now coming back full-fledged. Where do we see DraftKings? It's at that level right now where I think it's like a make or break a little bit for DraftKings. They've had a beautiful run up from the bottom of 40. And I mean, it was beautiful, the 56. We did pull back to 48 in the last week or so, and then a great week last week, man. 48 up to 52, and on our charts, I have the 50 period about here, 51. I see on another chart it's about 52. So we're right at this level that I like. I like it when stocks cross above and start to, turn this little indicator positive, turn it upside down and get it going northbound again. I've been saying I like DraftKings here. I wonder if it's a little bit overdone. There's also Penn. if you were flat on DraftKings right now, do we wait for a little bit of a pullback? Is this a decent spot to start building? We have football, I think, less than 40 days away from that Hall of Fame game that's going to be starting. We know the NFL is going to be big, and I'm thinking NCAA, especially through the variants and things like that, if we can survive it. The fans will be in the seats there, and we know what football does to drive some of these stocks. So where's your mind here on DraftKings? Do you have a position? Would you start one here? And is there any advice?
I have no position. I would definitely go long the stock. I have a buy alert on it this morning, but if I was going to keep a tight stop, I'd probably keep a 49.75 stop out there. I know that's almost 2 points, but it's that kind of stock. So that's my long with a stop, watching it carefully.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that is a tight stop because you can even get, well, now it's 52, so yeah, I guess a couple points. Sometimes in the day you can have $2 or $3 moves, so watch it. But I'm glad that you like it. We also know Kathy Wood likes that as well. Mark Roberts from Sun Lake Strategies. Was there one other name that maybe we didn't get to that you were hoping we would, or are we happy at this point?
I think we're happy. There's
perfect.
The only thing I would have to say is with Jefferies coming out with a rebalancing from last week, some of the rebalancing name in the 2000 Russell may be more volatile as they come into the marketplace today.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Thank you for so much. Sun Lake Strategies. Love having you on and all your knowledge. Very, very great segment. Thank you, Mark.
Have a great day.
Ciao.
All right, guys, some analyst moves. Speaking of Jefferies, apparently there's a warning as well on my screen right now. We'll ignore that. Microsoft, Jefferies liking Microsoft today with a price target increase. FedEx paychecks on here as well to the upside. Biogen had some big moves last week, if you remember, and so did the trade desk to the downside today, guys.
You know what? That's it. Brendan's have his sleeves rolled up, and he looks good. I'm rolling my sleeves.
It's hot in here, man.
I just like the look. I mean, I think Brendan's he's fashion forward. I'm rolling up my sleeves, as you can see right there. So thank you, Brendan. Yeah, we have that power sell error. I have no idea what that means. I hope that does not affect us moving forward, but I don't think it will. So yeah, good talk there on DraftKings. We've been talking about this for a while, and that's why I wanted to get Mark Roberts' opinion. I think it's a buy. We've been buying this for a long time, and DraftKings is an oversized position, more than I'd like it to be, but I don't want to sell it because I think now we have, if I was going to sell it, it should have been, when this, we did get some out up here, but, we didn't buy back, and this might have been the area that I really started feeling like buyer's remorse and just like, why did we not, or I guess seller's remorse, I don't know, when you don't get out of something. But, that was painful, but then it's nicely bounced back, and I think that we have a few tailwinds ahead of us here for DraftKings. So.
You know what I like about DraftKings? I like a lot of things about DraftKings, but one of the other ones, you get that short sell report that comes out and you get that move down. One thing we talked about last year was when you get the dump and you get that bottom on that fateful day, as we like to call it, if you ever get a gap and then hold of the support that next few days, which is exactly what happened here, recovery, not all the way, but you're gonna hold these levels in around that 48, 49, and then now breaking back about 50 in the 50 period, right? Like that's almost like a perfect reaction to brushing off the short seller reports, and I think that's what you wanted to see here. So as it settles down, hopefully, I like DraftKings as well. I mean, as to how to trade it, it's such a tricky day trade. I think maybe the wipeout days where you can find a really good bottom have been pretty good there. And of course, we will be watching a lot. I see people talking about ALF. Yeah, ALF is on the move again. I'm tracking this one as it got towards that high. It didn't actually get to 2080, but it just cracked $20. So ALFI, ALFI, whatever we're calling it, it's ALFI. Another big move up, like 15 or 16%. This thing is pretty relentless, but it has not yet touched that high from last week.
Yeah, a little more positivity in some of these names, including that Marin software, MRIN. We'll talk about that coming up as well. Before we do, if you still need the link, guys, make sure you grab our absolutely free to you morning note. We send it out every day before we come on. Has all the names that are moving in the pre-market and a little on why they are moving. So let's jump into the first one, guys. We'll talk about AMC. I mean, more volume today in the pre-market. Definitely a positive look here to start the week. We said, very choppy. It was even Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week. Didn't really do much, was kind of stuck in a range, but we're seeing more, directional bias a little bit today.
I mean, I hope we're seeing a bit of a directional bias. And apologies, Brendan, because in our chat we're kind of going over like the fun that we had last week when everyone thought the show was ending at the beginning. We won't have any of that today, guys. But I'm kind of thinking the overall market's going to be a little bit sleepy, and I don't wonder if this sleepy market is going to wake up the giant, or do you even call it the giant? Come on. Flip. The giant, of course, being AMC, which was just ridiculously useless. I mean, my charts are not cooperating this morning. That's my 15-minute okay. But let's go to the daily chart. I mean, you're going to get that move up in the pre-market, but now we're back to barcoding. So if you guys are watching the show, I don't think I traded this name for the final 3 days of the week. And it was the first 2 or 3 days in a row that I had not traded AMC, and it was because of that lack of movement. Now, maybe it's going to break out a little bit. Maybe it's going to give you that range bound, that range where you test that 60 and break out again. Outside of that, unless we're testing these new lows, this is the range that is, unless you're scalping it, I'm talking like 50, 53, 54, up to like 57 and a half. 57 and a half I have as a level. In that range, you better be scalping it because it has been sleepy in there. I need to see it go. Virgin Galactic's the one that's had the momentum. That looks like it's actually now failing off of that 60 level, so it should be there for a good trade. I mean, there's more chatter about Clover, which is on our watch list again today. I'm not sure I'm going to be trading AMC. If it does one of those like flush down trades, yeah, I'll be on the bid to try to pick up one of those dip buys, maybe at like a 50 level from here. But I'm just not anticipating much of a change because after the bump this morning, it just went right back to flatlining for the last 30 or 40 minutes.
Yeah, I was getting my order set up here for Palantir. I think Palantir has, whoopsies, just got into Palantir. Okay, I don't know how that happened. Okay, so AMC, yeah, I just wanted, so we're long Palantir. I wanted to wait for 27 to break. I don't know what just happened there, but we got long it. Okay, we'll talk about Palantir in a minute. Yeah, look at this level, 52. So I didn't trade it. I think I may have traded it 1 or 2 times in the last couple of days, but definitely not the way we used to. Neil and I used to talk about getting 100 fills a day or 50 fills a day or something on AMC, and now that's sort of been gone by the wayside. It's still nice move though. I mean, there's still nice moves that can be had in here. It's a great stock to trade. You guys already know that. But it's obviously a heavily retail traded and focused name. So you're gonna look here, $52, bounce, and that's what I put up. You guys can find the sticky note listed right now. Up AMC new box office weekend, which was really nice. We talked about that with that F9. And I just think it continues, man. I mean, I don't think it really even matters what movies go out or what the deal is with anything movie-wise. I just think that they have the ability now to hopefully raise capital. They've tried that and it's worked with share offerings. We'll see if it works the next time. And if it does, you're going to watch out for this 52 level to hold. Meme stock or not, however you guys want to treat some of these names now. AMC has proven itself now, has some, a chance to break above 60 for sure. It's held up here. As long as this 50, like if it trades between 50 and 60 this week, then yeah, I mean, it's just going to then start flowing on news, I believe. And if they can raise that capital, yeah, I mean, fundamentally, we know it's not super strong, but we don't know really how the market's going to take the reopen. So we'll wait for AMC. But for now, I really like a 52 long if you're day trading it. And then if you are looking for an out, because you're already long and you're nervous about it, I still think that 52 level is a good out and it's a good long. So, that's a key level. You just have to decide what you want to do with it. For me, I'm going to be buying AMC, start buying it at 53. That's where the dips were on Friday. We may not even get to that. And if we don't, then we're going to have to rechange our strategy. So for me, it's a long 53, 54 area today. I think we can get that drop down and then we'll wait to see if it tests there. And then ultimately we'll have to make a decision when we get to $52. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't really like to break out the top unless we get to 60. So for me, there's nothing inside. You either get a 60 break or we retest 53 and 52. So nothing on the inside. We'll just play it the other way. And then a big super chat. Thank you so much, Nicole Harrius there. Oh, okay. Okay, Ms. V. So now we got to find you something green. So go online, find something in this price range there. And Valeria, you pick it up and you bill us, and there you go. So $35. Thank you, Nicole Harris. We will do that. You and Valeria can go back and forth and decide on what she's going to get. But Valeria has the green light now to go spend 50 Canadian. Valeria, There
on
it is.
the new green stuff.
And you're gonna have
or
a new green.
unicorn.
You're gonna have a new green outfit very, very soon. So thank you for that super chat, and thank you, Nicole Harris. I promise you, we'll get Valeria to get something for that. And I know there's a few more things coming your way as well, Valeria. So thank you for all that. Let's keep this green market going.
Valeria's closet is going to be leprechaun-esque by the end of the month, I would say. Let's bring in Arun here. We'll have a look at the futures and see what we need to be aware of so far today to start off a brand new week here. Heading into the end of the month, Arun, it is Monday. What's up?
Yeah, it's pretty much just continuing off what we've been doing. It's nothing new. Since Thursday, we were just on this slow little march, and here we go again, continuing it straight up. So the only trailing level I've got is 42.6750 ish, 67, 68, somewhere around there. If we can keep on going, I'll use that as a potential stop for a long. Otherwise, we're just going to have to wait and see for some more action. Keep in mind, though, the quarter's ending. It's the final 3 days of the quarter. It's also going into a long weekend coming up. So if we're going to get a burst of activity, it's going to happen now. It's going to happen the next few days as we finish up the quarter and going into a long weekend. After that, you might have to run into some summertime trading volume, which is never fun for anyone who hasn't traded it before. It's going to take some time to get some trades, and you may have to be patient quite a bit more in the summertime. So if you're going to try to make some trades, I think the next few days is going to have to be the situation where we get that opportunity. And especially with the quarter ending, like I said, might get some activity with the long weekend coming up as well. So 42.60, 768, that area is my support. If we break that, the closest level I've got past that is 42.40. So a lot of space in between. It makes sense. Given how the market's been moving, it makes sense that there's a lot of gaps between levels. So we're just going to be patient again and see if we can get something to work with. It's a hit or miss situation. Friday, we have the Russell rebalance, provided some, volatility towards the end. But today we've got nothing except the quarter end, potentially bringing in something. But otherwise, you're just going to be patient and see what the market brings after the open.
Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. It is under 30 minutes until the market opens, guys. Meta Materials Incorporated, formerly Torchlight Energy Resources, trading under its new symbol as of today. So we have to disregard this 100% move here on our charts for the time being. We're actually down from pre-market trading when it started. There's 1-for-2 stock split that was included in this and a special dividend as they finalize that agreement, guys. So Torchlight is now MMAT.
Yeah, and look, a few things to keep in mind. At the in the aftermarket, this thing it dumped off. It was $5 basically, Torchlight, and then it dumped off to like a $4.50. So when you go back over and we come in and we're now out and we're now transferring a new symbol, if we'll actually load up here, come on, give it to me. You're essentially right at the exact price. You're right at that $10 range. I'm looking to see if I can't get any kind of sort of sell on the reverse split kind of notion there, guys. If it can pop up anywhere on that 1070, 1080, although I will say it is restricted on our system, gonna get this one unblocked. So as much as I like it for that 930 type of idea to roll over, I think it's right at that 10, which is essentially where it closed at 495. So it's right essentially at that perfect range. And I think if it pops to the upside, I'd want to be selling into that strength, so long as we get the both the okay and the locates to be able to do that. So for anybody, just if you own shares of Torchlight, then you should have gotten notice. So don't be too surprised. Don't go nuts. We're just looking at MMAT, and I'll be shorting this one at the pop if I get a chance to. Of course, no guarantees on that, but it should be pretty active. It's done over 1 million shares worth of volume, and Torchlight was pretty active all week long.
Yeah, I haven't even really looked at that name. I did like Torchlight, of course, back at that $5 level. We talked about that over and over again. I'm just excited for the next name, Brendo.
Along, PaySafe is the next name. Big move on Friday. If you remember, coming in this morning, we're up again here. Cohen initiating coverage with a price target of 15 on PaySafe.
Yeah, so here I am just adjusting our charts here to hopefully this fixes it so I can show you a little bit more about PaySafe there. Oh yeah, now it's not going to show our long. So this is the thing. Remember I talked about it on Friday and I said that, PaySafe has the big move early and I didn't expect anything in the afternoon and that you need to get this trade off, at the beginning of the day. So I'm going to say the same thing probably applying again today. It's nice to see more and more. Look, I think the more upgrades they get, the better it's going to be for them. This is a new position for Cowen. And coming out and just basically giving it an outperform, I believe it was, rating today. So it's not an upgrade or a downgrade. It's a start position for them on a rating. So you have 1280. I'm just looking at this 13 level where we stopped off on Friday. I mean, it's pretty obvious. We did break it early, so whatever. We'll ignore that first little run there on liquidity. And then this is more the one that little upsetting because it didn't keep going. You guys know PaySafe is a big position of mine. I've been talking about this since it was BFT. I like it. I like SoFi. SoFi is a nice one today, coming off lockup. I think you're going to get that at a decent price as well. And that's the thing. Remember, like all of these stocks, they still have lockups to come. They still have a lot of things like, some of the valuations, even with PaySafe at this 1280 right now, it's still really, you still need a lot of things to work out for it in order for this to be a success. We got that news from Switzerland on Friday about, able to use them more, paying taxes and bank accounts and things like that. So that's good. But now you have to wait for PaySafe. Up another 4%. It's been a nice move. You see the downside moves here. That's what I mean. We could retest 10. Like a lot of these names can come back down. I like it though. So I'm going to get a little more excited if and when we touch this 15 area, which is where the price target is. So, I mean, when you come out and you initiate at 15 when the stock's already at 12.50, it's not like a huge move upside, but I'm waiting for that. Let's see what happens when it gets to 15. Then we get a few more buy side analysts recommending the stock.
Yeah, it was such a great breakout trade on Friday, and that was pretty much like a one and done. The dip buy gave you a little bit of action, but it stalled out at 12.45. And you look at it here, and you did have some support down there. So maybe the only price I'd take that isn't a breakout is going to be that 12.45, and I'll be watching that one on PaySafe. So it does look pretty good for an active day trade, but man, that was a heck of a one and done. It was feeling like we're sitting in it in the pre-market for like 20, 30 minutes, and then you break out, and it was pretty much over within like 10 minutes or so, that entirety of the move. So it kind of needs to get going. This 1275 or 1280 level, the current high on PaySafe, is not that bad of a level if you really think about it, because this is that previous resistance point right here, right now. So the current high is actually a pretty significant level if you go in the daily chart there. So I'd love to see that hold up by the end of the day as well.
All right, guys, let's continue along here. We'll talk about Boeing. We mentioned it briefly there with Mark Roberts. If you joined us at the beginning of the show, the 777X, the FAA coming out saying they're nowhere near ready to certify it yet, and they're talking about realistically, was the word they used, 2023, sometime next year as far as that one is concerned. So Boeing down here, yes, but we're already trying to bounce a little bit, guys.
Yeah, we talked about this with Mark, and I mean, I like this name, and I think the 777, whatever, it's all, for me, it was about that 737 MAX. And again, down that 1.2% is a little disappointing because we are up on the market today. We'll hold this 245, I believe, anyways, that bottom of the market, 244. If you zoom this back a little bit, we go to a 20-period chart, you'll be able to see a little bit more levels here, but we did have a nice run there last week. We were already down to 237, a nice couple days up. Friday was a monster day, back up to 250. Sorry, Thursday. Friday, we bounced back down a little bit, and now we're just back into this range. So these are some of the levels that I just wanted to show you guys, like 241 down here. We had a couple days where we spent below it, then the rest up. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like, 12 days or so, we spent 2 or 3 below this 241. So, I think that that's going to be a good level to hold. We're getting close there in the pre-market, down to 244. So I think this is a buy down and around this area. I don't know if this is any new news. I mean, the insiders, you have to be an analyst, like you have to follow Boeing and to really know what the realistic time frames are and guidelines are for the release of some of these planes and the acceptances. So I don't know how bad news this is. It doesn't seem like it's that bad, only down that 1.29%. So for me, Boeing's going to be a buy in that 241.50-ish area, 242 area, and then you can hold it about $2 against you. So I like Boeing, and I think you got to buy it on any dips. As far as a long-term hold, it's in my account. So I'll continue to support it, but we break down below. I just wonder what bad news can come other than something, again, crazy crazy, tragic, which I hope we're past that. So let's wait for Boeing, but I got some bids in the low 240s.
Yeah, I think we're past the real bad news as well. I just think you got to be patient with that Boeing and let it come to you, is what I said before, and I kind of want to stick to that one, guys. Just very quickly here, I want to come back to that ALF because it did pull back. It got to close to that 2080 area, that previous high. I should look at the 15-minute. There we go. Just so you guys can see, ALF did get right up to that 2080, turning around a little bit here. So it could be making that move on that pullback. I might have missed a chance at catching that short. If at 9:30 or close to it, we get a test back up around that range, I think it could be trying to fail. But 2080 is that big key level up there. 2060, the current high. Still some room to go, but ALF still looking very strong.
Just quickly before we continue here, CCL, guys, just a bit of a tick to the downside. I can show you here, 2.3% now for CCL. They just announced this. 500 million shares of common stock on an offering, so that was that move to the downside in CCL. I want to talk about this story as well as we move down to Tesla here. So they've signed an agreement with this Contemporary Amperex Technologies for some battery manufacturing over in China. So that was a late headline there for Tesla, guys. But overall, Tesla a little bit in negative territory on that recall news as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a healthy pullback in Tesla. We talked about it getting, last week, we talked about it getting to that 700 level. We've already made the break from 35 and then over the 50 period. So as long as we settle out above 666, all signs look pretty good. I mean, interestingly enough, pre-market lows here, right above that level, that 667. That's gonna. I said that would be that key sort of pullback price off of 700. So I think that's the test we're basically getting this morning on the recall news. Now, that positive story, I don't know if it's going to move the needle too much. I think we're probably technically bouncing off of this level anyways on Tesla. I would love to see us, sort of test and then resist this and bounce off this 665, 66 area off the open. I think that would be all systems go to get us back to a 680 on Tesla. If it busts that though, you're probably waiting patiently into that 650 to catch a buy. I don't think we're seeing that 635 again, but 650 would be the next level down from that 665, 666 for me on Tesla. I'd like to play it buying the dip there. I don't really see the breakout like we did last week. I mean, 75 seems like it, but it's a kind of choppy areas all the way above that into that 80 area. So I'd rather be buying the dip on Tesla and play the patience game, although the momentum is back into the upside with it as the market looks strong as well.
I went long CCL. We've already got a banger right here off that one. I mean, I think I guess it's $500 million worth of stock. Thank God it's not 500 million shares. But right there, guys, 27.50. We take advantage of that, dipping down to the bottom there. So now we're long 47. We'll see how high this goes upside there. Maybe 27.75. Like we've already got a 10 cent, 11 cent, 12 cent. Keep going upside more now. 13 cent winner on board for us here with CCL. We won't ring the register on this. Let's see where we go. I was liking CCL anyways to come back to this 28 level. There it is, man. A nice little 15. I mean, maybe we do this. Like, I don't know. We'll take this out. Oh, man, yeah. And by the way, I don't know who makes the Euro brackets, but like the left side of that bracket, like I actually feel bad. I mean, I live around tons of Portuguese people, and like all of a sudden Portugal, the number 4 ranked team and defending European champion, run into the number 1 ranked Belgium team in the world, and they run into them in the first round, which is kind of ridiculous. On that left side is like Italy, Spain, Portugal. It has 5 of the top 6 teams in Europe on the left side. The only one on the right side, Neil, is your England. So they'll play Germany with. They're a heavy favorite, Neil. They're a heavy favorite, man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hopefully they win. But then my Italian, they're going to run into Belgium. So that's going to be a crazy game. Italy finally gives up a goal, man. 10 straight perfect sheet games. And they gave up a goal to Austria. They still won 2-0, but they gave it up in extra time there. So Italy, Belgium coming to TV maybe near you.
I'm happy about it, man. I'm not complaining about it. England set up pretty nice, so you won't see me complaining.
Sean, any thoughts on Tesla there before we move on today?
Tesla, what's that? Yeah, the only thought I have is that I got to put some money away because my kids want Teslas right now, and they keep telling me, "What do you want? You got to drive a Tesla." So if that's going to happen, then I do love Tesla for the long term. You've heard me say that over and over and over again. I think Tesla has to be bought at any dips. I mean, this recall to me is just a buying opportunity. Although if you see here, I've already said. I mean, we talked about it down here at 600. I said next stop up here, 780. Then I think we revisit the all-time highs once again come later on in the year, maybe even at the end of the year. We had some good runs up, obviously, last year into the rebalancing and the reweight and the split. So there was a bunch. I mean, they got into the NASDAQ huge, and that caused a huge run up. I mean, here it is right here, December. Like 600 up to 900, basically just on rebalancing and split news. And then you do get that coming through. And then now you have to watch out for this little level here, breaking back down. I think Neil covered some good levels there. 660, nice level. We're above the 50-period moving average until we violate that. For me, it's all, here we go. I'll ride a Vespa. You know, maybe if they take out some Vespas there, they'll be on the right track. But now Italy's on my mind. So the wife just booked us a nice little outdoor picnic under the Bentway, Brendan, for a nice little Italian picnic. So we're happy for that.
Those?
Yeah, you can. I guess so. She just said she booked. She said, "Do we want to have Jamaican or Italian?" I want to do the Jamaican. The problem is we're trying to bring the kids. And I don't know if they like the jerk chickens aspect. They're not a huge spicy kids, but I think we're going to do a little bit of both.
You got to try it sometime, man.
Oh, hey,
I
mean, we make jerk chicken. I love, if I'm going to barbecue chicken, honestly, my preference would be jerk. And we have this great place where I live that makes the bomb jerk sauce. So you got to marinate it, though, of course.
It sounds good. I was down there.
What about Tesla again?
Were we talking about
Who cares? Let's talk about food.
Yeah.
It's too early.
Let's go to space here, guys. It's hard to avoid this move again this morning. We're still up 3% for Virgin Galactic, but coming off in a hurry. It's worth saying we're all the way back to basically the highs from Friday. But yeah, significant levels up here on the daily chart for Virgin Galactic. No additional news on this. It's just that FAA license that we learned about back on Friday.
Yeah, let's remember, like, this is a bit of a squeeze play as well. Like, it's a heavily shorted name. It got me to blah, 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 blah. 6280 doesn't even get tested in the pre-market. I thought we'd get there. Well, I thought we had a chance to at least get pretty close to it, and then it went an obvious like rollover type of short. I actually traded this one to the south side on that 930 like open play, spike up, and then roll over. Did not hold on to a breakout long, which then came at 50 even. That kind of stunk. I'm looking back. Look, I'll look for two levels that I think could be support when this thing, or if this thing unwinds, I should say. Shouldn't say when. 55 and then down here at like 52. So I got those two written down here. I was looking for that same play where I would short it into some strength off of the top. That's a setup that I love. We're kind of getting away from that now to be thinking about it at 62, 63. So we're probably looking somewhere along these lines, like that 59, what the previous low was. If you go back into like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., that 59 area into 60. So maybe like a lower high type of idea on a pop. If this thing somehow manages to break the all-time high, maybe the secondary squeeze is going to be on, and then I would think about a breakout long, but no breakout longs here for me today. I'm thinking of that rollover 930 trade, and then maybe catching a few deep dips where you can catch some momentum back in.
Jamaican me hungry. Yeah, you guys are right about that one when I'm looking at this chat. Yeah, so love everything there. I was able to grow up. I mean, obviously me and Neil friends from grade school, but we grew up in a very, very diverse neighborhood. So like all kinds of food, like the best Jamaican restaurants, Indian food, Thai food, Vietnamese, like I'm like crazy into all that stuff.
Tandoori chicken, oh my goodness.
Oh, curry.
We used to have Culture Fest at our high school, and like throughout the week, you'd get like different food for the lunch from like different regions. It was unbelievable, man. Yeah. The jerk was so good. It's crazy. We should be talking about stocks here.
Yeah, some samosa there. Get some cornbread in our systems. Okay, yeah, let's get going here. Space to final frontier will eventually come back down to a reasonable level at some point. I wrote down here on the sticky note. You can find it at Trader TV, Sean, right there. 63 all-time high at 62.80. Look to short into that. I just don't believe that on this news that it needs to keep on going. It's been a great long, I'm long down here at 14. No, I'm not. But you could see a nice little move up to the upside there. What a great month. I mean, talk about, I mean, this is June, guys. Like, this is end of May here that you're at 16 and now you're up to $60. So let's just fade it off of this. Let's fade it off at 62, like all day long if we can. We'll do that. But again, we'll just have to watch the momentum. It is pairing off a little bit here as we come back down to the downside. When we wrote the sticky note, we were at here, like we were 60, 61, pushing that all-time high. So I think we'll probably retest up here. At some point, because the volume will come in. There still is a percent short, obviously, so there is that coming with the stock. So, you know, we can watch out for that. There's lots happening with space. I think if you're just going to make, like, we always get the question. We have a couple videos out this week, which were great videos. Thank you for supporting them up on our page. But we also talk about, people want to know, what do we trade if you have a small account, or if you're under the PDT, or, you know, investing versus trading. Like, space is going to give you a lot of opportunities. So I think if there's going to be one name to look at today, Virgin Galactic would be the name. So I'm going to wait to see what happens here. I don't think it's going to be crazy to retest 53. So again, buckle up, and let's hope there's enough oxygen up there to hold this stock northbound. But I think it's running out a bit.
Let's talk a little bit about the chip makers. They were very strong all week last week. NVIDIA leading the way here in the pre-market, back in positive territory, up a full percent. We're very close to all-time highs here again for NVIDIA. Some of their biggest customers coming out over in the UK over the weekend, supporting their acquisition of ARM, if you remember, still awaiting approval. But we're very close here, guys, to all-time highs once again for NVIDIA.
775. That's gonna be that level. I don't know. I didn't write anything else on NVIDIA here. I just have 775. If we catch that, then it's all systems go. Momentum is to the upside. This stock continues to outperform all the metrics. Like, it doesn't matter how expensive it is. People talk all about the ARM not likely going through. If you looked at the rhetoric that was coming through from the new legislations, or at least the new approach into big deal making, you would have thought this would be dead in the water. That's a huge win for them. In my humble opinion, and I think back when it was in the 550, 600, I kind of liked the stock regardless of whether they got the ARM deal. I didn't really think it was super likely, maybe a coin flip at best. And now it seems pretty decent chance they're going to get this. So that's just going to be another catalyst here, and certainly an actual fundamental catalyst, right? Like, stock splits are great, and it's driven the price up. But this ARM deal is actually gigantic for them, and the increased chance that it goes through is fantastic. But it is a significant sort of resistance point, this 775 here. We got to chew through that.
Yeah, look, I mean, I just keep raising the trophies up for NVIDIA because this is one of my prouder moments for the viewers, man. We were talked about it right here when we had the announcement of the stock split, and it was just such an, I mean, to me anyways, and I apologize if anyone went short, but I mean, this was such a great buy here at 600. We tweeted it out over and over and over again. We kept talking about it on the show. Absolutely love this name. And then this is only, again, like I could sit here and talk about, jokingly buying space at the bottom. Obviously, that's been up 4 times the levels. But this is just, I mean, where's even a red day? Like, the market's had a couple red days, right? So NVIDIA will be red. But look at these green bumps, man. Just bump, bump, bump. So NVIDIA, no matter what the percentage is up today or down, it doesn't even matter. This stock has to be bought on every single dip. I love NVIDIA. I'm into AMD and NVIDIA like crazy amounts. So I've just made a lot of cash on NVIDIA. I even had options. I talked about those as well. And yeah, this has just been a big, huge move. The only problem with the options, I had no idea which ones to buy. It turned out that I should have bought, 775 calls instead of 650 calls. But right now, yeah, it's just been a monster move to the upside. And look, I'm proud of NVIDIA. I'm proud of all the shareholders. And this is the right space. And if you guys remember, again, my call of 2020 was PayPal. Okay, that went up 3.5 times in the year, okay? And then my call now was much more conservative with SMH this year. This was my call for 2021 was SMH, and we're going to see if it ever loads up. It's been a little bit of a rocky one. We've had Micron and different things like that come through, but here it is, man, $200 was the call for a little bit higher, 205, 210, something like that, when we made that call, and now you're up to 250 and pushing all-time highs on the semiconductors. So look, I like the space. I know there's a shortage. Like, imagine we didn't get all that problem with the shortages, how high a lot of these stocks would go up. And also AMD is bigger for me. It's on my list here today. And I actually said we're waiting for that 8650 level on AMD. And it's because of the NVIDIA ARM deal. AMD is going to close with Xilinx. And then when that does happen as well, then you're going to get some big boosts to AMD. You're going to get some crazy upgrades on AMD once, oh God, we have this thing again very well. Okay, you're going to get crazy moves on AMD once that Xilinx deal goes through. So hey, get on board now or forever wonder why you did not.
All right, let's go to MRIN, Marin Software, back on the list this morning as well. First thing to note is what happened last week. Remember, 3 days in a row, straight to the upside through 4. It got all the way up to 440. We're way up here at 540 today. It needs to hold 5. This was support in the pre-market, 5, and then below that, there's a little area at 480. So watch 480 to 5 once the market opens. Otherwise, this thing could retest some of these levels from Friday. Really no additional news. We learned last week about that. It was a Checkmart, or I forget what it was, but they integrated some software into their platform. But Marin also, guys, if you remember, a favorite of Wall Street Bets last week.
Absolutely, and the volume is going to show that here. I think it was Instacart integration. There's not you guys were just talking in the chat about this. There's nothing on the daily chart that gives you any levels off this thing now. Like, sure, there was a spike over to 8. There's nothing but air in front of this to the upside. So there's nothing obvious that I think would give you a rollover. And when you get the Wall Street Bets crowd as well, I mean, it's hard to be standing in front of it. I just think that $5 range, which has been double tapped this morning for support, is probably the one thing that I'll be looking for off the morning here. I mean, if you're below that, I think it could actually test like 10% lower. So that might be a decent trade if it can break it. But very, very strong on very high volume as well. And look, there's a couple of other names here. An entire sector. So we have to get to Intelia with only 5 minutes to go. Gene editing stocks, there's a bunch of them that are on the move. You're going to get CRISPR, which is moving as well, but essentially off the same move here. Regeneron, a deal with NTLA. This is the one leading the way up, 54%. Now, you're going to see this monster gap up. And in this space, we've seen these plays before. You get the 50% move almost exactly from a 90 break into 135 where we're sitting right now. And then you start thinking about, okay, well, where's the retracement idea? We've already tested this 144 top. Usually, at 9:30, I'd be looking, okay, let's test the high and then get that rollover trade. I don't love the breakdown at 135, but I've missed trades like this before by not being willing to take it. My first look is always going to be a test of the high a day. If it goes up to like a 42, 43, short off 144, I'm going to go for this one on NTLA, just simply because the entire space up so strongly, and that retracement trade usually works pretty well. Brendan?
Yeah, real quick on that CVM. Guys, if anyone's watching CVM on the NYSE American Exchange, here's the news. This was 9/21. They just came out with some landmark, they're saying, head and neck cancer phase 3 study data. So CVM.am for us, currently halted, guys.
So I'm going to, so here's the sticky note right here. And AMC, PaySafe, Space, AMD, Palantir, NEO, all on the list. And I'm about to adding ALF through 2050, guys. So we're going to add ALF through 20. Whoops. We're going to add ALF through 2050, and then we're going to put a couple bang signs on here. And I like that one. We'll do a couple high fives. We'll do a couple of those, and we'll do a couple rocket ships as well. Because the more rocket ships you do, the more chance this is going to go through. So we'll wait for that, and then we'll hashtag our Sticky Note Society, which I have to start doing, and give credit to you guys for that. So let's go. We're going to add ALF to the upside on that note there. Thank you already, man. Already 120 likes. We love that. Thank you so much for that. You guys like the sticky note. I like giving it to you. And again, they're just trade ideas, man. I like to look back. I mean, look, this is me keeping my notes from last week. I like to keep about a week's worth of sticky notes here. So that's the 3 from last week, and then a random one here. When Wish was at the top. So I like to go through some of those as we build our sticky notes, see if any levels are still in play, and make sure that we've got them. And then again, we were shorting ALF into last week because of some of that move, and then now we'll wait to see. I love the momentum, and you're up 15%. You're doing 3 million shares. You're already, I mean, here's a 20-minute. It looks the same as the one I have up. There's that 2050. It made it this morning. We could break that again, and if you break it, I mean, look, this is just, you're just trying to go YOLO on this one, right? This is not like something that I would say let's put our whole day into or anything like that. This is just a trade that you think if you break 2050, the sellers may be gone for a bit. There's AMD. We just picked up a bid downside on AMD as well. So 86.06 there on a drop. We're now printing 40, so we can get out of AMD a little bit. Palantir, we're long, and we're long CCL. So everything in the money right now, but we got to get some of this out with only 2 minutes to go. We don't want the NASDAQ to crash on us.
Yeah, with 2 minutes to go, remembering about last week's imbalances when they came out, it's worth noting, you know, Palantir was just a god seller at 27 even. This is going to stand out like a sore thumb. There was an unbelievable seller at the top. It was trying to break multiple times. Like, I think one dark pool printer, a series of them went through at 01, but really that never cracked, and you're sitting right here at 27 even. That's a break that I think has to be had. So 27 even is a bit of a break. But look at how tight these clusters are the last 2 days, between 26.75 and then down here at that 26.25. I think if that fails, you definitely have a stop area at that 75, and then an obvious sort of buying point where support should be down at that 26.25 area. So lots of ways to get in and play that from a technical standpoint. So I want to make sure we're involved in them. I want to get back over to we did get unblocked, not Torch. MMAT was the other. Well, it is now Torch. I mean Torch. Sorry, Torch is now MMAT. I'm going to mess that one up because it's Meta Materials. I just got that one unblocked. I wanted to be able to be a seller on this if it made a bit of a pop. It just came back off of 1030 and it's trying to get back to that 10 level. So if it does get a little bit higher, close to this 1030 at the open, I'll be looking to see if I can't get that rollover short. Doing the same thing in NTLA, but that's the big one. Of course, that entire genomic space, way to the upside. I'm looking to play a fade if it pops off the open. Let's see if we can't get this party started. Market is green. Miss V has the green on now, but she's going to get a chance, of course, to get something new. Thank you guys so much for that super chat, by the way. So let's drop the bell. Monday is here. Let's get the party started. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ring it, Miss V.
So guys, we already took out a monster winner, 35 pennies already, hit the confetti, hit everything. The market's now open. As we wait for AMD to go upside, we're looking at that one. We're also waiting for Palantir. We're already long that name.
Hey, so Palantir didn't break.
No, it did not break yet. Nope. Hopefully it does break 27. There is some there it goes. So now we're long again and again and again. So let's go long on Palantir. We're already long. So here we go, 27.10, 27.12. This is a good level, man. We'll start taking some out. Palantir does these bust outs, right? So there it is, long 99, long 05. And guess what? Your boy's already doing it. So let's go upside Palantir. We've got PaySafe now breaking through 13. We have AMD 40-cent winner, Palantir big winner, PaySafe winner. So let's just go on all these names, guys.
And NVIDIA just broke its high. There's 775. I mean, I literally wrote one thing down.
There goes
for
AMD,
NVIDIA,
holy crap.
and it's already gonzo, guys. NVIDIA with another move to the upside. Quick break from 775 to 778. Big mover. I mean, NVIDIA break. There was only one level to look at.
Spin it.
Money.
Guys, I mean, all of a sudden, bang. You know, I could be done right now, done trading, but we're still going to stay live here for you. Look at this AMD, bang, all the way to the upside. Like, if you're not following that sticky note, then I don't know what to tell you. There it goes, man. AMD, 45 cents now in the money and still going. We talked about 86.50. Let's go, man. Let's fire off the hot dogs. This is the kind of day it is, man. We're lit today. We're going. We've got lots of energy. And by the way, yo, what up, gangsta? There goes Alf to the upside. Bang on Alf. There we go, guys. This is how we do it. We're already monstrous today. Let's keep it going, Neil.
$10 winner on NTLA.
Bang.
We talked about the 930 rollover. This is all of, look, it's not the genomic play. It is all of these biopharma type of names. When they have gap ups that big, you always play the pop. Sometimes it'll take you out at the high of the day. Fair enough. You're risking only a couple of bucks to make something like 10. I do scalp some off for the first $3 winner. Then we get a $10 banger. But NVIDIA, look, this is a one and done, and that's a setup. NVIDIA is a type of play where I think we can actually hold on to this one and maybe continue this little bit of a run, because there is nothing but air in front of NVIDIA here on that 775 break. So I want to make sure we're holding on to it. Did miss something though. I think we both liked, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we both liked Virgin Galactic on the short. well, okay, that's the short we didn't get here. Virgin Galactic back down to 55. I thought this would sell off, but other things to look at the open.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm looking at is the stacks right now. So we'll wait to see on that one as we slay the living, you know what, out of this market. And then right now, guys, pay safe, like, let's go, man. You want it right now. Let's go. Bang. There it is. Pay safe with a big win up to the upside there. 13 and change, man. I got to spend more time on the links here. If you're watching this, wife, we're bringing home the cash. Maybe I should be golfing a little bit more often as this starts to go to the upside. Palantir coming back down. We'll talk about that. But AMD, man, big time win for that as well. Up to 87.50. You guys know that 86.50 is written right here. Let's go, Brendo.
Churchill, guys, just popping up here as well. Another one, CCIV, 6%. Took out day highs. Look at the volume here at the open, guys. So a huge print for CCIV. Ugly wick on that chart as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. Alf, did Alf just pull all the way back to 20? Oh, my goodness. I want to buy the dip. I want to buy the dip. I want to buy the dip. Don't chase it too far, Neil. Don't chase it too far. Don't chase it too far. Okay, I wanted like 20s, maybe 20 quarters on there. I end up picking up, look, 2028's not too bad, but I just tried to get it when it retook this 20 level, and I looked immediately at this 20, right in before 930, 915. It had failed that price. You broke out essentially there, so not a bad place to pick up a little dip. If it goes anywhere close to that like 60 to 70 range, I think you take a little bit out, but that was a harsh reversal, and I think that's why, see this 56.60? That's why I said 2060. You're playing that peak into that peak on the pullback, and then we can now start thinking about getting back to 21. All that said, that is such a harsh pullback, and 2080 was that high from before. If it cannot hold above there, I will run to the exits below that 20 level, guys. But for now, nice little dip buy. I'm glad I was quick enough to be able to catch this one. I almost missed it. And I almost chased it too far as well. Ooh, thank you for the reload, Miss V, on the coffee. NVIDIA is now, looks like, $7 in the money. That continues to go to the upside. We're trying to hold on to that. Palantir back at 27, though.
Yeah, Palantir, AMD. I mean, AMD with the Rip City here, man. I mean, that was such a good call. We gave that to you, 86.50. Now it's $1 plus in the money, man. I talked about that ARM holding and how much we like that possible deal there. So AMD all the way. Well, I mean, Xilinx ARM for NVIDIA, Xilinx for AMD, and now there it goes, man. Upside, upside, upside. Pay safe. This is, I mean, again, like hit the rewind button, man. I told you guys early that this had to have been the play, an early break. It's too bad too bad I don't have the trades from Friday, but we had the exact same play. Now it extended more on Friday because we started at 12:30. We went up $1 about, but there it is right there, man. You got to hit it and quit it on PaySafe. We called that one over and over again. Still that 75-cent winner on Alpha. It does break below 20, and we got out of a little bit, but nothing huge there. We wanted to reload down here at 916, but now we're going to wait for the top side. I mean, we just added this. I mean, and this is the thing. Like, what else this was at 927. We said 2050. So if you guys want this, and thank you so much, Diablo stocks as well for liking that call, and I think a lot of you guys did. So hopefully you guys have that there. Yeah, you got to get NVIDIA ASAP. I mean, we talked about that over and over again. And then here we go, another trade that we had on our watch list, my sticky note list again, was NEO. And here it goes, man. And again, the list, what we had up here, you tell me what this says right there, where my finger is. You can't see it. 46.50 long break. They lining up, baby. There it is, another one. So another one, guys. There's a big nether trade right there. So congratulations. I think the sticky note today is going to be huge once again. And hopefully you're following Neil and I trades. Neil with the banger on a couple of them. And
I'm kind of looking for something to trade right now because Intel was so fast and done, and NVIDIA just went right up $10. So I'm out of that one and done. I like to have those targets in here. I actually think it might be your bad boy here, Sean. Palantir, I should say, to try to spit it out. Remember that 26.75? There's the break. I actually hung on to a quarter of it. Want to take profit on the break. We talk about this all the time. 75 and 25. Both great levels on that higher level chart. We showed that right before the open, so I'll see if I can't dig into something if it wants to go down there. I'm going to throw a bid in the 80s just so we can catch a bit of a dip buy. I do think, and look, you're only going to be able to trade so many things at the open, right? So we talked about a couple of ideas. The dip on Tesla, congratulations if you got it. I thought 666 was the level. Maybe you'd go to 67 or 68. Obviously, it didn't want to give you that. It goes to 70, and then we're right into that 680 area. So thankfully, we got trades that we're actually able to get off our levels. Tesla on the run again, but did not even try to dip into the level I wanted.
Yeah, no, I mean, you gotta trade these levels, guys. I mean, I already have 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, I have 6 positions right now, guys, all along. So let's hope the market can continue its upside movement. Remember about 2 weeks ago when I said this is how much cash I was holding? Brendo.
Another little one just popping up here, guys. United States Antimony Corporation, UAMY. Big mover so far, 17% here. Huge volume came through $1 as to be expected. Trying to get back above some key levels here for UAMY. They were out with a corporate update today.
This MRIN just made it failed at 570, hard at the open, and then coming right back in towards the top. Remember, there's nothing but air in terms of levels at like 8, so I would be looking at that 6 if it had a bit of a rollover. That's a strong hold here, not even at $5, guys. You're talking about that 520. If it does dip to the downside, I think I'd want to play it tight to the chest, like right here on the first move down, and then try to catch like a high of the day. Forget about 6 even. I'm literally talking about the current high. Like, it goes and I'm out. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for there. Unless I have an obvious level like a 6 even, if I'm going to try and play a turn like this one, I want to have a relatively tight stop because it's so ridiculously strong. ALF, we're able to quickly get in and out of that one on the dip. It does not break that 2175 area. It looks like it's headed back to the downside. I'd just be careful of this below that 2080. That was that high in the 15. If you want to show it here, that was that high from Friday. And if we're not able to hold above that, you could really see this come back into that $18 area. ALF's been a strong one, but the failed breaks at 930 at all-time highs on stocks like this that have had multi-day runs can get pretty ugly pretty fast. Brendan?
A nice look for Workhorse here to start, guys. 5.5% straight upside. It held Friday's levels here at the open, then just ripped to 1650 for Workhorse.
Like, backflip again. Yeah, we love that Workhorse. We're going to get into, well, I don't love Workhorse, but that name and Fisker have actually held up quite well into some of this. So this is an 86.05 bid in, out, right? That's $2 out of the money. And then more importantly is this 86.50, bang, bang, bang. We're still holding on to a piece as well. So people are saying congratulations on the big day here. Yeah, this is what we're doing every single day. I'm hoping for. Anyways, ALF, you saw that monster winner, guys, on ALF to start the day. $1.70 now on AMD. A big move there. This CCL, okay, so basically we got in early there on that offering and we should have taken it out. Now we're in a real position. Long here, 27 and change. So 27.14. We're gonna have to look to see what's going on with CCL. I actually didn't expect it to drop down here. So these fills I didn't even expect to get. So 27.06, 20. So now we got to look at this because it's starting to go a little bit against us. And then PaySafe just looking to get back into this area. I think around 12.50, 12.60. We'll buy some more PaySafe on the downside right now. So a few things moving against us, but they're stocks that we didn't really think to get. We already talked about the hit it and quit it on PaySafe, but right now I think it's trying to build a little bit of a base here. So why not? Let's go a little more long here on PSFE.
Yeah, I think my bid on PaySafe still in front of that 40 level, but CCL, I was just quickly looking at the daily on that, and it looks like there should be a little bit of support at 26.75. Not a heck of a lot, but that'd be the first place I think you could catch a bounce. I just can't believe of all of the stocks to have not traded here. There's Virgin Galactic, and you're going to see on the daily chart just how crazy it's been. The flush, I thought we'd get back in and be able to test like 57.5 on a bit of a bounce. It couldn't even get back into 56.5. It barely touches there and dies like a quail. So might start having to think about starting a little bit earlier to catch any shorts here in Virgin Galactic. It closed at $56. So this failure here should have been a little bit more obvious to me. If it gets back up to that 56, I'll look to play off the short side there. So just pounds here on that long and looking to find any kind of a way to get into the short on Virgin. Brennan?
Nothing new on Chinese names that I can see right off the bat anyways, but Pinduoduo just popped up here, guys, through 130 on a volume alert. About 2% here for PDD. Nice look so far.
Yeah, they definitely don't like this CCL offering here. So to the downside goes CCL right there. So we'll watch it. There's a big size there at 80, but that's going to get broken. That's just on NASDAQ. Oh, no, it's on NYB, but they'll probably take that. There it goes. Take it out with one shot. So yeah, I guess we're going to have to wait for 26.50 to come through here maybe on CCL, but maybe that 80, that big 100,000 share buyer there might cause this to give a little bit of support. But for right now, we're going to have to wait on CCL, that's for sure. ALF coming back in, CCL, Palantir, PaySafe. They're all fine. NEO, we just took a NEO out. I mean, look at this trade, guys. 46.50, upside 47 now. That's a big 50-cent win for us as well. And then AMD, we're very, very light on AMD. But you know what? This is a tale of two markets right now. Look at the ES, okay? This is the ES. This is the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ straight upside there. NASDAQ straight up, ES straight down. So yeah, tale of two markets here. We get a new trade alert. We just got into Boeing. We talked about it trying to hold. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, look at American Airlines here. Like, if you're looking at what's going to the downside, you look at CCL. American Airlines is now down like 70 pennies off the open, and it's been a straight shot in. So this is what we're talking about. The tech looks pretty good. I see you guys talking trade desk. Trade desk is making a good run to the upside here, but I mean, it could get ugly if we go any further down here in AAL. I think 2050 is probably the best level, and that's $1 away here. So I want to be very, very patient picking up any buys because I don't see anything too obvious. MRIN, just to get back to this one, it is making another run at the top. I don't know if I made top wick. It's pretty close, but 585 now a couple of times has been tested. I thought maybe it'd be $6. Looking still pretty strong here. And this is frustrating. I should have just said, close my eyes and punch short into Virgin Galactic. I keep thinking I'll be able to play like a pullback instead of buying the dip, like selling the pop, but there just isn't a pop to be sold. Now down at $54. So we talked about this one probably unwinding. It's happening even faster than I thought.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I said there was no air up there for those guys. So we'll have to wait for space. And
well, it is a vacuum in space, right?
This was exactly like if you guys got this trade again, like this is exactly what we said. 63 looks short into it, right? And when we put that trade out there for you guys, you could have gotten those. But again, it's risky trading in the pre-market. So I mean, you had to have shorted up here and then just trust those levels of the all-time high that I gave or that we talked about, and then yeah, right to the downside now. So see ya. I'm not excited about that. But now we have a lot of trades on board, so we're gonna have to wait to see where we go from here. But right now it's PaySafe, it's CCL on my mind, and then we got a little bit of Boeing action as well, long at 242. That's my newest position, guys.
Okay, so Alf comes right back for another dip buy off that 20 level. We scalped. I probably took this out too early. I think I did say like closer to 2150, but I covered at 21. It then does another hard whip down. It's the same price level. Now remember, you have the opening range and support here at 1915, but it held 1975. So I'm buying in front of that 1975, looking to scalp into VWAP, which is a setup that you guys know I'm going to favor here. I'll take some out in this cluster for maybe 30 cents, and then we can try to get the rest in front of that 20 to 2075 area. I keep looking for an opportunity in MRIN. I don't want to force the trade. We'll power up because the dip buys and I'll keep working here, but I can't seem to find my way over this MRIN. It's now failed into VWAP one more time. Miss V is in the green. Oh, sorry, no. We're going to Brendan. Sorry, guys.
Real quick, guys, negative news for Tesla that typically, and today, no exception, means positive for this one. NIO, nice look, 4% so far, just tagging 47 here to the upside. XPeng as well, up big time so far.
Yeah, we're feeling like Superman on that NIO call there, Brendo. You were long 46.53. We've just taken some out at that day's high. So now let's watch 47 go through, guys. We're loving that 47 level. And also, just to let you know, we'll also keep going in the dance moves here with Palantir, a buy at 92 and then an out at 05. So what's up, Miss V?
Hey Sean, Anavex Life Sciences spike in the pre-market and now stock is up around 13%. Do you have, guys, any thoughts on AVXL?
AVXL, I think.
Nope.
You know, it's interesting. I thought I saw this one. Yeah, I did see this one on my list. It was a ridiculously strong name here, guys. And just to quickly show you, you have this failure like 29, just a couple of times off the open. I didn't think we had any locates on it, but that would have been a 930 play for me. It's an obvious failure. It's sort of like a key level, but it was trading so far above that 29 price that we just sort of showed you on the daily chart that I really didn't think that it would be too actionable of a trade. If we got to pop into like 32, 33, I would have been looking at it. From here, I think it probably runs into resistance to that new 29. Other than that, just understand when you have a multi-day runner like this, and this has been a few weeks now, the snapback can really take you down into like a 24, 25, and it would be pretty reasonable. Brendan?
We saw big moves from the Solars back on Friday, if you remember. JKS just popping up here again today. Look at that on the daily chart. 2 days in a row now, coming up to this level for Jinko today, guys. Nice mover so far.
Yeah, someone, I think it was Shakib. What's up, Shakib? You mentioned to me there on the chat to look at JKS, and we probably should have, obviously, instead of wading into some of these other names, but a nice little move up there. Let's see what it looks like on the minute. Yeah, woohoo! On the minute chart. Yeah, what up, Shakib? That was a great call there. I did see you mention that. So, yeah, good on you. Congratulations, anybody that was long that name, as Jinko Solar just continuing to make moves to the upside. And again, on that infrastructure bill, there was also talk there about, larger solar EV. So there's a lot of plays plays there that you can place on some of this. AMC also starting to go now, it looks like as well. Straight to the upside goes AMC 5750 coming in. We're not on that one. Obviously, we should be, but there it goes, man. And AMD also near a day's high, actually tipping out to day's high. Small piece left, but we still got a piece.
Oh my gosh, AMC is at that, and I know you guys are going to hate it, but it's at that 57.50 area. And I did say only a couple of levels on AMC, and I try not to overtrade it. Come on, give me a break. It turns around here at 57.55, right? So I said 57.50. I look at like that 52.53 area. I haven't touched anything else in a while on this stock. So from here, if it makes a high, fair enough. I'll be out of it. I'll take the hit. But that was the level I'll play the short off of, and we'll see if we can't get a winner on it. The 55 breaks. I mean, I don't have any upside to like 6 even, I think would be that top end, guys. So it's trying to take it out right now. It just ticked a couple of times above. Oh yeah, you know, it's holding a bit above that price. I'm going to get out. I wanted that price only. It didn't dip down far enough for me to execute. Looks like AMC's off to the races. And remember, we talked about that 60 level, how many times it was a failed break. The last time it got there, it was also a fail break. And this was like the 4th or 5th time that it failed at that particular price. I would hunt again at AMC at 60s. Virgin Galactic still can't catch any kind of a bounce, so I can't find my way into that one. And MRIN might have missed the turn on MRIN. It's right back down to $5 even. We talked about that being a possible support level, so I got close to top wick on that short. I had a tight stop on it, didn't give it to 6 even. 5 is the likely place that I think it could catch a bit of a bounce.
Okay, we are holding a small bit of ALF here, so you know, waiting. I mean, it's dipping nicely now, so I think we could probably think about getting in a little bit. So oops, that's not ALF. Sorry, that was AMC. We're waiting for a 58 break there, so there we go. So we'll test an ALF. So we just took that bid right now at 27. So we'll see where we go from upside now. Could still dip down, man. This is the area for me of a little bit of concern here, this 1850 area. So we'll see if we test through 1850. It was a good call, man. We hit it hard early, and that's that. I got out a little bit once it dropped back down below that VWAP early. Let it run back up, but right now we'll see if it can hold alpha right now. 1850 is going to be the hold level for me on that one. But other than that, man, CCL, it's funny because CCL really, I didn't expect even to get this 27. We should have looked at that a little closer when it happened, but there we go. We'll defend that 2650 level and see if that's going to, you know, cause an area of concern. It is an area of concern, but this is not concerned at all. We'll barbecue up the profits. We had these amazing ribeye steaks this weekend at the lake when we were golfing, but right now Neo just continues to accelerate to the upside. So thank you, Neo, with a nice little win there off those levels on the sticky note. Brendan, quickly, Neil.
No little one here, guys, real quick. ADIL, ADIL, ADIL Pharmaceuticals. First day on the microcap Russell index. So ADIL up 18%.
And if there's one thing the Stockfather said, he was like, watch out for some of those rebalance names and new additions to the Russell numbers there. You're going to see some outpaced volatility. Clover here, just watching Clover Health, it broke the high of the day on a bit of a run. This was a bit of a wipeout through 13, so fail break at 13. You love those for a bullish play. And then bouncing back into the upside here. So once I see a wipeout like that, on an interesting name, it takes out the high. I want to be buying dips into VWAP if we can get a chance. So I'll throw a bid down in that 1320 range, see if I can't pick some up. I've also done a dip buy here in ALF again. The first one, good. Second one, half and half. We're able to take some in front of VWAP. I look a gift horse in the mouth, which you're not supposed to do, obviously, but I did. I didn't take it out at 2070. It spiked back down, covered it that tighter stop at 75 because I wanted to see if we could catch it bouncing off of this 19 first. Now, you guys know the style I like. I want to see it bounce off this level and then try to get in. We can always average in if it holds this here, but it's kind of air beneath 19, and then you're thinking about that 1750 area. So I want to keep the stops tight on ALF in case we get that big wipeout, then buy the bottom. And I'll always be covering in front of VWAP if we get a chance, 20 even as well on Alphi. We're stabilizing here in Virgin Galactic. Well, as much as it's possible to stabilize on Virgin Galactic, it's what it's trying to do at 53.50. There has not been a significant spike, but I'm canceling my offer in front of 56. If it would have just bounced up now and fill me, I think that would be too violent to move. I'll track it and see if I can't short at next consolidation point. Just got into Clover on that pullback, so added that long position in here. Dips off VWAP. I think we'll play this one. Take some out in front of high of day, see if we can't rinse and repeat. 1350 does loom as a breakout in Clover. The only I think the thing that you run into is a problem. Okay, you get 1350, this area here from Friday, but then right above that, you got that 75 area and then 14. So every 25 pennies, Clover is likely to slow down. So we want to make sure we're getting actively out in front of those.
Okay, so by the way, Mr. Softy, bring me a dream because you are just Rip City. This is the one, again, guys, that we keep on buying on every single dip. You guys know I love those blue chip, those dividend, big time cap stocks. I actually put something out the other day about mega cap stocks, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook. I mean, these are all top Google, top holdings for me. And Microsoft, again, taking out new highs, I believe, anyways. Close enough, if not new highs today, then I think it is anyways, 268.50 I think is an all-time high for Microsoft. So we'll keep on looking there as it goes. Our little buy on Alphi working out for us so far. We bought at 30s. Now we'll wait for an upside there. We'll see if that can go. I still think PaySafe has a chance to get back to VWAP. So that's why we put some more shares on right there. We just talked about Alpha. CCL coming back a little bit. We did take a little bit out. We did buy some more at 59 there. I mean, our average price on this is no good because we did take these 27s here trying to defend 27. I would have gotten out there. But again, I did not notice, and then it just came crashing down, and that's just bad order management by me. We did take another average in here on Boeing. I talked about that 240 level that we liked on BA. So, and remember what I said, there was only a couple days here where Boeing spent below $41, well, 241 of course. Here it was right in here. So if today's another one of those days, then so be it. But I think we got a good price. We just got the bottom here on Boeing. So let's go to the upside now, hopefully. We're long at 241.75. So we're only 20 cents in the money. Nothing to celebrate about, but we've got a good little, I mean, I'm long everything, guys. I'm long 7 names right now. Already 52 trades today. So no, we don't just talk about one stock. We talk about many, and I'm hoping that we've covered a lot for you. So thank you for watching, and thank you for always doing everything for us on the chat and just remaining solid. So CCL, we'll wait for that to go up. Boeing, AMD, you can see all my positions. I like them all, but we should have had that space short. That's the only one that we...
I just want to come over to CCIV. I know Brendan mentioned Churchill. You guys are talking about it as well. Watch 28 stands out on the daily chart here. It's trying to round into this for a potential breakout, but likely to find a little bit of resistance at that price. So I think you got to start thinking about, if you like it, buying some dips. I just bought the dip on ALF and then just covered when it took out that low, 1750. That's that wipeout bottom where you go line in the sand sort of line in the sand type of trade. But CCIV, I think you start buying the dips now that we're approaching that 28 area, and I think 26.75 would be the next for me. Brendan.
Another one that was pretty active last week, if you remember, X Financial, XYF, up again today, 15%, trying to chop around here between 17 and 18. But you remember Thursday, Friday, very active for this one, guys.
Okay, so MRIN just bounced at 508. It looks like it's finding some support in front of 5 even. Look, if it breaks that, it's going to be hard not to try a quick little scalp short on MRIN. We talked about that level being a significant one. Did miss it through the top there, but yeah, I kind of like it. If it tests this evens even a little bit closer here, like below 510, I think I'd maybe dip into a little bit of a long. I'm still hanging on to, oddly enough, Palantir, which it was a great breakout trade, and then I was very convinced that it was going to give me those low 80s on the dip buy. So I find myself sort of missing out here, trying to be very, very patient. And you get a dip in 89, you get a dip into 86, and the entire time I'm sitting here at 84. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that bid at this particular time. I'll allow it to make a bottom close to 75 and try to get more aggressive on the entry. So instead of waiting at a particular price, maybe look to see it bounce and aggressively get into it. Seems to be the better way to get into position on that particular name, because I keep on missing it. And then the same thing is happening in Clover, where it is making these little bits of a dip. I sit here at 34, it goes to 31, and now it's making another low here in front of 13. So I want to see if we can hold that wipeout at 13. If it bounces off 13, I'm going to try and get actively in on Clover as well. Both that and Palantir, my 2 long positions.
Okay, guys, Neo, like, you want to talk about something right here. I mean, this is, again, right off the sticky note. Those of you that watch that and see that there on our Twitter feed there, Neo right there, 46.50 long break. I mean, it's $1 in the money, so that's a good one so far. AMD was a huge 86.50 long break as well. There goes AMD to the upside. We've already cashed that out. 20, I mean, we have a lot of trades, so I can't really go like 20, 40, 60, 80. That's not the way it worked. We have we have infinitely, I mean, I have less than 5% left on this AMD trade. So that's going to be a good one. Why is AMC short sell restricted, Sterling? Well, again, it's just because it's probably just hard to borrow. It shouldn't be short sell restricted. There should be no restrictions on this stock. The only thing that would make a stock short sell restricted would either be if it's a recent listing there. So you have the IPO, you have different lockup periods and stuff like that. Or if AMC Sterling goes down 10% the previous day, which I don't think it did, right? So you can have 2 days of lockup for that, but maybe it's short sell restricted. For me, the only problem would be to borrow. So you got to find out from your broker, of course, what the situation with the borrow is there. I apologize if it's not there, but I'm not apologizing for this as the cash cow just keeps on coming in. Palantir, bang, bang, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, and get out. So Palantir just continues to pay the bills every single day for us. Another name that I love, I mean, it's a bigger position again than I would have liked to have, but XL Fleet, I just wish I would have got out of it the very first day when we bought here and it ripped up here. We had to hold it all the way against us, and then we took some shares down here, and we like it. We like Ford. We know there's a deal with Ford with XL. So now we're going to see if XL Fleet can't get back up above $10. It was up 3 or 4% today, so it did already have a big move early, and now it's coming back to fade in a little bit. So nothing to be too excited there, but I did want to talk about that because we talked about Jinko and a few different names like that. So watch out for XL Fleet. And then the only other name that I recommended, and I recommended it at 10, 11, and 12, was Fisker. So Fisker now a nice little move again, up that 3%. Touched $20 today, and that's right where we are. So again, congratulations anybody holding this EV name.
And GME making some moves. I see NVIDIA got to like 790, continues to just be an unbelievable runner. It's about a $15 move from the bottom here on GameStop. So AMC and GameStop both moving. Yeah, we're seeing them. I did buy the dip on Clover in front of that 13 again when it tested, but 225 looks like a big one. If we cluster around here for a while on GameStop, 225 is going to set up for a pretty interesting break. I think we're going to have a bit of a look there. Some of you guys are asking about Sundial. Sundial, I know it's at $1, and it just broke, but I mean, I'll show you, whoops, that's not gonna show you level 2. The Sundial level 2 at that $1, trust me, it was about this amount of size. Not a humongous level at $1 even. You would expect a little bit more. It feels a little bit overdone here. It's not as crazy of a break on terms of volume as before. So I'm not sure it'd have the juice to sustain it, and that 110 has been a problem in the past. So I don't think it's necessarily off to the races, but I think we are off to Brendan at the big screen for Happening Now.
Hey guys, yeah, quick look at how we are doing so far. Nicely positive for the NASDAQ, trying to lead. So tech stocks in chart so far, the 100 specifically, up about 0.8% right now. The composite 0.6%. You can see the Dow still negative. 0.3% to the downside for the Dow. The S&P basically flat on the day. So overall, a bit of a choppy start as we expected. A few things we were talking about in the pre-market. This formerly Torchlight, now this MMAT. Yeah, well, that was a great fade off of $10 even, straight to $8 for MMAT at the open. Decent volume behind that move as well. Big recall for Tesla, no problem. Back to Friday's highs. We're coming up to 690 again here for Tesla, guys. Really nice looking chart so far.
Come on, Nicola.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. I just want to celebrate Boeing a little bit as well right now as we average into that when we talked about it. So we'll dap up for that as we talked about that 241 level. So initially in there, this didn't really give us too much of a win. We did spike up about $1 off, about 50 cents off of our initial 242 entry. But you know, on Boeing, we're not going to take 50 cents. So we had to take that average back down to the very bottom there, 241.20. And now you're seeing where Boeing's going. So a nice win for us. We're going to put Boeing in our pocket today, man. That was a good trade. So I think we'll wait on that, just like we've been doing here with NEO. As NEO continues to go, diamond hands alert for NEO straight to the upside. Still have a piece of that one, guys. That's now $1.09 in the money on NEO. So these are like realistic trades for you guys. AMD as well, bang to that one, 86.50. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give you all the big winners, almost like one and done, you know, like you get into AMD at these levels, bang, bang. You get into NEO at these levels as well. And then Palantir, I'll forever be protecting some down downside here on Palantir. So that stock's going to look a little bit different than than most. And then, of course, this is basically a one and done here on Boeing. Take that average. We talked about 239 as getting it out. And then right now, we're going to hold on tight to Alphi, guys. We didn't get out on the break, but we're going to wait for a little lower, man. 1850, 18 on a breaker there. But Alphi goes right back into the money for us as well. So, hey, it's been a big day. Neil's had monster winners. Both of us, huge winners. AMD is just a huge one for me, guys. That's going to be my number one stock today as I look. Palantir possibly going to be my number one. We did have a big break right there through 27. Best outs here, 27.20. So when you play with big shares, you can make smaller moves, but bigger money. So that's kind of how I treat Palantir. And that's about it, guys.
NVIDIA could be getting close. Well, could be getting close. NVIDIA is getting close to $800 here, guys. $794. That's an even number that's going to be hard to ignore. I'm kind of curious to see. If I haven't seen at any point in NVIDIA's reign in this move to the upside, I have never really seen a big level where you just see a massive offer at an even level like an 800 or like a 775. It just seems to not matter. It chews through whatever is there, but there just hasn't been a significant one. So I want to check that at 800. It kind of might give you that scalp short idea and then a potential breakthrough it. $4 away, $5 away now. Looks like it could be coming into play rather soon. Brendan?
Anyone watching this IKNX, remember Friday, they announced a deal with that TeraWulf, a Bitcoin miner. So it was up big time on Friday in addition to today. So we're right back to these highs, guys. For IKNX.
We'll just run the siren alert just to give you guys a quick update. We are out of Neil right there at 47.84. I just think that's for me, guys, like that's a monster. This is a monster move, man. Like 46.50 long given to you on the sticky notes. So what's up to Sticky Note Society now all the way to back to the upside here. It was very, very close for me to hold this thing. It's just we have these tops here of 47.80. So when we went to there, we gave it a little bit more love there so that we can catch it, right? And then now we'll get out. So we'll get out there, and if we're wrong, we're wrong. But we're definitely not wrong today on NIO, as that's been, like I just said, an absolute monster for me. So NIO to the upside, there it is. We cashed it out. Good trade there given to you from the Sticky Note Society. So let's keep on going. Boeing right now as well, extending itself. This is a 70-cent winner. AMD's a dollar winner. We just took out $1.30 on this name. We're waiting for Palantir to go. And then we're just like, this is the one that's like put us to sleep, baby. This PaySafe, man, just not doing anything. So we'll wait on PaySafe. And this is what we talked about. Hit it and quit it every day on PaySafe, guys. No point in sitting around on that name.
That's the thing. You can't just you can't sit around if something is going to barcode on you. It's not. This is not barcode. Well, it kind of is barcoding on the Virgin Galactic at the bottom here. Again, it still can't seem to find any pops. We did talk about where there might be support, and look, I thought I'd be short first before this would happen, but you're getting pretty close to that 52 level. So as we get close to 52, I think that's where the bounce could be on a bit of a long bounce on Virgin Galactic. And again, they don't make any money, so we need these levels here. And it's all about the pure momentum, but I want to play off of that one if I get a chance on Virgin. I just had Palantir and Clover to that long, and this MRIN on the NASDAQ, of course. It is holding just above that 5 level. Now, it did dip into 505. I tried to get some shares in there at 510, but I said I didn't want to chase that too far. Like, I only wanted to risk like maybe 10, 15 cents at most on a long in front of 5. I still like the breakdown. If we break 5 even, I'm going to go short on MRIN. That's going to be firmly in play for me no matter what. The only question is whether I can catch a scalp trade into that long side in front of it before we go into the reversal short. So MRIN is definitely on the radar. I know I haven't really traded. I had a couple of trades, one trade in the pre-market and a very, very quick one on the short side. But the whole time I've been trying to get in and look for my spot. Just don't want to end up over trading here, guys. And that NTLA is continuing to the downside, but has found some support. And if you look here in the pre-market at 7 a.m., this was support at 125, then a bounce up. It's trying to bounce off that 125 right now. If that gets taken out, should be an interesting one all the way down to another like $5 move at 120. So NTLA still selling off after that crazy gap up. Good news for them, of course, but the retracement seemed obvious. The pattern's always there.
And yeah, patterns. Yeah, that's the thing, guys. Study, make sure you know what trades you're looking for and what you're trying to do here. Look at Boeing, man, out a little bit there. We were trying to let this thing run back to VWAP there. Doesn't look like it wanted to do that. The ES did come off just a little bit. Nothing crazy. I mean, the ES bounced off VWAP there, so that's kind of no surprise there why that happened to Boeing. Remember, Boeing's going to be a big Dow component, and in the S&P, it's going to trade much more towards that market than it will the NASDAQ. So, but we do have some exposure to the NASDAQ and Palantir. So let's see if that one, let's move this over. Let's see if that can't keep going to the upside. That's why we get out there. Palantir 2708, 2706. That's basically been the top. I'm hoping we can take it out and then go a little higher, and then we don't have to worry. But what's up, Bren?
A little clean energy name. This is CBAT. Excuse me, if you remember. CBAK Energy, Chinese clean energy, they're a battery maker. Just popped up here through 5. Just checking on news. Don't think there is any. They got a minor investment this morning, but other than that, there wasn't anything. But huge wall right here above us, guys. 505, 510, a level for CBAT.
And still trying to get this little bounce here on, pullback, I should say, on CCIV. It just tried to get through that 2730. We mentioned 28 could turn to resistance, so you're probably looking at some dip buys. I don't think I'd short it until it actually got to 28, or maybe tracked and held below 2675 or so. We see if we can't get a little bit of a dip buy on Churchill, on Clover, just to track back in on this. It looks like it's leveling off a little bit. Off of that bottom, so we've now made a double bottom on Clover, 1290 twice. I've been kind of waiting for it to bounce. Each time I take the long, it's been after it's bounced, so I want to see the same thing, holding a higher bid at 13 before I add any more to this position. It'll be the last time I do add to it. And of course, I cannot get away from you, Virgin Galactic. Still barcoding. It's not 52, but it has now held this 53 and finding a little bit of support down there. I might take a shot at this to the long side if it does hold a little bit longer here. Maybe look for a bit of a break at that 54 quarter mark. But 52 is the much better level. MRIN just broke that 50, so I didn't take that. Sorry, 5. Didn't take the long in front, never found the entry, but just got short at 499 on MRIN and finally took that 5.
Okay, so we made a mistake, not a mistake, we just weren't looking at it. Alphi there, it does come right back up to VWAP there. I mean, what great trading on Alphi today, guys. So long out, long again down here, 1930. I mean, pretty clear level here at 1850 that never broke, so we waited for that. So now we got to just try to, again, we got to reward ourselves, right? That's the whole point. So if we can get back here, again, we'll do that. I actually just noticed here the high was only 2034. I think I went a little bit higher than that. Yeah, I did. I basically waited at 2050. So let's see if Alphi can come in at that level right now. Hopefully it does. We'll be able to get out. So we're looking at a 2050 print here, right near VWAP here for ALF. We'll see if that can come out. Look, it's a 20-cent winner. You got to hold, obviously, you got to hold more than 20 cents. You're going to make more than, the spread on this thing is 10 cents. So let's just call that what it is. So you got to watch out. Even if you're in trouble on this, just be very, very careful. Pick your levels. I'm fine if it goes back to 1850. I'm waiting to see if this can happen again. 19 million shares today. So let's just put some of this away and see where we go. So 1850 is going to be our out. We're hoping to get this tick back to VWAP. We missed it the first time. Now we're sitting there. Looks like it wants to fade out again. You do have some buyers. So this is a very, very dangerous position here, ALF. If you don't have that out back to the downside, what's not too dangerous is Palantir as we come right back to these levels where we'll be getting some more shares out.
And wowzers, yeah, Workhorse, you're another look. There's been a lot of these EV names are making some runs here today. We talked about Tesla, Nishan's got NIO here. Workhorse, no different. Just clarification, I don't think I said I would short Churchill now. It's setting up for a break. It would have to break high and then test that higher level at 28 in the daily before I would get into a short. So just a quick clarification if that wasn't clear. Workhorse, on the other hand, besides looking at that 17, there has been this level lurking here just above $18, this $18.75, where you've seen multiple failures at this particular price. So I think you probably would go ahead and anticipate a bit of a pullback here. It's got heavy short interest, so there's always a squeeze aspect when it comes to Workhorse, guys, and you got to pay attention to that in terms of standing in front of any kind of an offer. But 1875 does look rather juicy if you want to take a look at that one. I still have that Palantir, and I still can't get into that Virgin Galactic, and it's starting to make a bit of a press back into something. It's making this nice little, I guess, we'll call it a wedge down here. It hasn't broken that 54.25, but if it holds 53 again, I'm going to put that break back up trade and trying to scalp a 54.25 break. I really thought I'd be short before I was long in Virgin Galactic, but that could actually change.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just trying to look at some of the positions I have because I have a few of them, and we just got to make sure they're right. Okay, so Palantir, there's a couple outs. Man, I got to have some water here. I don't know what Valeria put in this coffee. Okay, there we go. So now we'll go to more to the upside here on Palantir as we'll keep on going here. So good trades. We like them. We like them a lot. But again, it's a little bit of a slippery slope here with some of our Palantir because you could see if the NASDAQ falls back in. Like really, I'm just really happy that a lot of the rhetoric that I've been sort of spitting at you guys continues to be true, right? We said that Palantir will follow the NASDAQ. You got to be very careful with it. Both sides up and down. So now we'll wait for Palantir. I think we're nicely near day's high, again, of 27.20, 27.19. We actually have the day high tick in our account, so that's good for us. But again, we'd hope to have more day high ticks in our account from Palantir. So let's wait to see if that can keep on going. Alphi, man, it just came right back up. So we're going to wait to get that tick, just a little bit more momentum in this name, and we can go. Boeing's been dancing around for me as well. CCL, man, we're just stuck here. There it goes. Now we'll probably get out now. I thought I had a 50 break, but I guess not. CCL to the downside. This one's really been my worst trade, and I have to be accountable for all the trades I have. Obviously, this is real money. This is real capital, and I'm sitting here making these trades for you. But at the same time, I shouldn't have held this through 27. By the time I looked at it, we were already at 26.90. We waited to get an average price, and now we're right at this tipping point. So not a great trade here, but you know my name's stamped all over it. So we're going to wait for CCL to hopefully come back in for us here, guys.
It looks like we got to basically 18 on a dime on a workhorse for turning. I said 1865. I thought it was going to be, but it's testing back towards this 1750. If it holds that bit, I think we get that test of the high. I got back into some MRIN. MRIN on the break, American just guys, MRIN. Oh, okay, there goes workhorse to 1750, so probably don't have to look at that 1865 just yet, but MRIN, we got that dip, we got a quick little scalp out of some, and then we get right back in as it tests back towards this 520. So I'm rolling into the short after it broke down below 530 and then made the 5 even break. Clover just made its last test. I said I'd wait one more time. Does it hold the low? It takes out that 1290, goes like 4 or 5 cents, slams right back up as it retakes it on the way up. That's my last entry point. You know, always try to catch it off of a bit of a bounce, but if it makes a fresh, I'll be all out of Clover. That'll be my, I guess we'll call it the poop trade of the day for sure. If it breaks the low of the day, not loving Clover. I thought it'd have some juice to it. It couldn't hold positive on the session, which was a 1297.13. Now trying to hold that low of the day. Looks like it could be kaputs for that. I still stay in Palantir, and I just finished telling you guys that I might actually be getting into the long in space if it could have held that low at 53. And it is still falling. It just made a new low of the day, 52.82. Looks like 52's coming. Brendo?
Just watching some energy stocks, guys, noting the entire group under pressure. Here's why. Crude down 1.2% here, just made a day low, but trying to bounce decent volume to the downside after this huge run oil's been on lately.
Yeah, I remember I called XOM was going to be a good short opportunity here, and I think that this still remains the same here. I'm actually going to probably put on some options today for XOM and just see if we can't, nothing we can do, but if the stock can't get back. What is going on? 255. I have like a little frog in my throat here. Back to the upside for XOM, I don't think so. So I think that's a great little top there. Whether or not we retest it or not, look, the summertime normally, a lot of travel, you'll see gas prices go up. So we'll see what happens. I just think Iran and Iraq turn the spigot back on here very, very soon and let the oil flow at these prices. So, I just think that we'll probably be swamped with inventory at some point coming soon. So that's my call for XOM. I think we retrace back to the downside. And by the way, cha-ching, as we go through, hit the cowbell here for Palantir, man. Palantir continues. There's another out, 27.15. So we found our way into this name, bang, bang. Some nice levels down there on these pre-market lows. But as you guys know, I was defending this thing all the way to 26.50. It's on our, here's another breaking spot right there. It's on our spot there, Palantir, to break 27 and then defend it all the way back down. So there it is. We did it, and we did it again on Palantir. So everything's working out, man. We held our Boeing a little too long, so we're still in that name. But other than that, we'll wait. Pay safe, Boeing. I'm pretty happy with the way these positions are panning out.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back over to, one from a little bit earlier that I think we talked about with you talked about there with Mark. always a tricky trade, that DraftKings, right? Like that, it's right back up towards 52, but you gotta want to buy it up the morning. And what does it do? It flushes right into 51. It's got that V, but 52 on a dime is the hot pre-market high. As it approaches it now, okay, am I going to take a shot at a bit of a breakout here in DraftKings? It's an even dollar level. I do like the idea and the notion here. Just got out of MRIN. That just broke that 525. So going to have to hunt for a better price. I still think it's going to be a short, but that 5 level was a failed break. So watch out. Here comes 52 even on DraftKings. I'll look for the breakout trade. Whoops, wait a minute. This didn't actually break. So it didn't break. I get in at like 97. I'm just going to get out, wait for the actual break at 52. I don't think it was a dark pool print. Probably just bungled the keystroke error up there. 52 has to break. I want it above that particular price. We'll only chase it to about 5 or 10 though.
So here we go, another 30-cent win coming, or sorry, 20 cents, sorry, on Palantir. We just take another 20 print there, and we're getting out on this one. So this is just another one that's fat stacks us right now for Palantir. You guys know that we're loaded up on this name. We're also loaded up on PaySafe. DraftKings is another name we're way overweighted on as well. You know, so here we go. We're in some of these value in stocks, or sorry, some of these growth stocks with Palantir and with DraftKings. We go to the upside. PaySafe will soon to be seen where that is. But another value stock that is not a value stock, of course, growth stock. Let's go over to everyone's favorite mobile gaming. I guess you could play it also on your PC. What up, Roblox? I know way too many of those games on that platform. I could talk about Brookhaven. I could talk about lots of different things on Roblox, but wow, big time movement to the upside. I know I just bought my kids, I think it was 1,200 Robux each. So that's how you purchase, you know, in-game things and whatnot. So back up to the upside there. Should have bought the stock instead of buying Robux there. But those of you that have kids know exactly what I'm talking about. Roblox continues to rock and roll. And I think they're going to have a monster summer, man. The more kids at home, trust me, they're going to be playing Roblox. So now let's watch this go to the upside. Still 100 breaks looming. We did have a high of 103, 104 there. But what a bounce off that 50 period. Like if you're not using this now, I hope you've learned a little bit about trading. And I hope for me, you've learned a lot about this 50 period moving average as I came to the dance with this one. And not many people looking at it. So I know Mark Roberts looking at that as well. But there it is, man. That's the only indicator that I use. And I hope that I've taught you guys about that. There's so many stocks that bounce off that 50 period. So there's another win for you viewers.
I think there's some movement here on a Coinbase, but I wanted to go back to this IKNX. I know Brendan mentioned it. You guys are watching as well. Hard pullback off of like a 27 even break here, right into VWAP. Now it's managed to bounce, but look at these. Look, last time it fell through, I got like 2150. Starting to get, well, it's already parabolic, but starting to get a little bit top heavy on this name. Monster spreads. I've seen 30, 40 cents and a little bit more than that. So tread very, very lightly, but this looks like a failed break top at 27 on IKNX. You do go to the daily chart and see, of course, it's nothing but air at these particular prices after that 25 break. So watch out below that 25, fail break at 27. I mean, this could get pretty ugly back into that downside. Got the break finally on DraftKings at 01s, which is what we intended. Sure, 97 is a better price, but I wanted a breakout trade, so it has to trade above that price for me to want to be in. That's why I quickly covered it. But I'm all over this IKNX. It gets back below 25, could really start to flush. And another test at 27 could be worth a rollover trade, but I would only give that to the high of the day, which stands at 27.50. Now we are ready for Brendan at the big screen. I think it's our small cap recap.
It is.
Hey guys, yeah, let's go to small cap world. I'll give you my take on a few of these so far today. Marin, we were mentioning this just before the open. I talked about 5. It needs to get back below 5. The way this reversed off of 580, 575 was enough. We did get back below VWAP as well with that sell-off. So I took the long initially up to 575, 580, but that reversal enough for me to get short. So short in between 550 and 5 at this point, but I'll give it back to that high now, 550. But volume coming back into the upside. So we'll see what happens here with MRIN. But great opportunity long initially. ABUS, not a great opportunity long initially, but if you did flip short, this was pretty self-explanatory, just couldn't get out of its own way once the market opened all the way down to about 350 there for ABUS. Another one that was up in the pre-market. AVXL, I ran out of bullets to fire at this one, but wow, what a move this was, from $32 down to 26.5 at the bottom. But tiny little consolidation there right before the open gave you an opportunity to catch at least the initial move down to 29 for AVXL, but very thin on that one, guys. Back over to you.
Thank you, Brendan. That headline on Coinbase was a German approval for crypto custody business. You'll see the volume spike here. I mean, I'll probably look back over and see that Silvergate is actually up because the entire market is up. But for me, the roll from at least some of Silvergate into Coinbase when it was basing up made some sense. I'll try to buy a bit of a dip and maybe a little bit further than this. I mean, 232 does stand out on a higher level, but I kind of want to see this pull back. And now that we've gotten through that 35 mark and see if we can catch a little bit of this momentum. But Coinbase firmly on the move to that upside. I talked about MRIM. We took the hit on that short trade. Now it's testing that high of the day. As it gets back up to this 585, it does set up for a roll here at like 575. There's nothing, like I said, there's nothing but air above this thing, above like this current high to like $8. So you want to make sure you're pretty careful with any short. Every single short I take, I have a relatively tight stop on. I would do no different if we get back into that 575. 85 would be the top. If it breaks high a day, I think it can be a breakout long as well. Oh my goodness, yeah. So I keep saying Virgin Galactic. How after the trade of the day am I not going to be involved in it? I'd swear I had my stop order ready to go at 54.25. That obviously was not the case. Didn't get the trigger. Goes right into VWAP at 55 even here. Is what it is. We probably missed that scalp that we wanted. Certainly can give you another play back into 56. 56 even is not just this level where it spiked and failed. It's also closed on Friday at 55.91. So it would be a bit of a negative to positive story if we could break above 56. I think that's your next area of resistance past VWAP. But the breakout scalp trade come and gone after it failed to make a fresh low on that 53 even break on Virgin Galactic. So very close to looking at that. Oh, nope, MRIN just turned at 60s. I wanted 70s. Now it's back down in those 30s. So I was waiting for a price close to that 585, wanted tighter stops. Looks like it's made its turn without me.
Yeah, I mean, I just been right now the only stock really moving for me. I mean, AMD's moving and ALF's going to the downside, so we will get out of ALF soon, and we talked about that one. We weren't expecting anything huge from that trade, so bad. Okay, I can call it up. Sorry. There goes ALF, so it's going to hit that 1950 very soon, and then we'll get out of that trade and then just move on from that once it breaks 350. We gave it a shot. We gave it a shot right there. It didn't go. So again, not a huge position because of the way it's running, but we did have an opportunity to make a little bit of cash there, and we didn't. So we did, but we didn't make as much as we should have. Then Palantir here. This is the stock again, as opposed to Alpha and things like that. You guys know the kind of stocks that I put my money into, right? It's the Palantirs, it's the AMDs of the world. That's been a big trade for us. You saw NEO, how that went crazy, and we still should have that. We did get out of that one right before 48, off this 46.50 long, so that's been a good one. And then right now, man, we're just sort of sitting in pay safe and waiting for this to do something, and it doesn't look like our dream of it actually doing something may come through today. But again, hot off the open, we talked about why we like that trade-off. Every single day's open, so a big one there. Thank you so much, Alex Smith, formerly of the Washington Redskins. Look, we're glad you found this channel as well. Yeah, good name. Obviously, I don't think this is Alex Smith from the Redskins, but great picture there. Thank you for watching, man, and just thank you for supporting it. No matter what the super chat is, we want to see the love from you guys. So thank you so much for that one. As we just continue to go. So Boeing, just so you guys, I think someone asked me where is going to be my out. Basically breaking through 240. So we'll give it a little bit more love to the downside past there, but that's the level that we're looking at. We looked at this for a while, 242, and then also someone said watch out for Grow Generation Brands. I mean, guys, I'm long this name at like $14, and we talked about why that was come election time. So GRWG, let's see what the move is here today quickly before I throw to Valeria. Wow, okay, up 8%, so got to focus a little bit more on this. My money is tied up right now with Tilray. I do have some GRWGs, and then my number one pick in the marijuana/cannabis space, of course, continues to be Canopy. What's up, V?
Hey Sean, Context Logic is very popular on the chat right now. Stock is up more than 6%. Could you guys give us a quick review on Wish stock?
Wish, eh?
It's look, there's a few squeeze-ish names that are making moves to the upside. You see Workhorse, of course, squeezing up, and look, Context Logic, Wish is going to be that same sort of idea. Now, it's been on a bit of a run, and I say a bit of a run with the rest of these names. It's up like 100% from the bottom. But we talked about this we should have talked about this last week. When it did break that 1550, you had the hard reversal there. It's creeping back up to that level. It got as high as like 17 on a spike, but really it was that 1550 area that was a bit of resistance, 15 even, the current top wick. I always sort of feel the same way about these in that a lot of times I'm looking for the turn, but you cannot fight squeeze plays tooth and nail. You have to wait very patiently, pick your spots with them. I think if you're playing the momentum in the long, taking profit does make a lot of sense. I know there's a lot of people that believe in this stock or believe in the company. Personally, you guys have heard us talk ad nauseum about the fundamentally, and I don't think that matters too much here. So I'd be looking 1550. I think that would have been that next level. If it breaks 15 even, you're probably looking at a pullback in and around that price where some people are going to look for some shorts. It's got a great trend, at least in terms of breaking to the upside here, and the volume is absolutely gigantic at 50 million. So it is something you can scalp trade. 15 even, probably giving you a bit of a dip down into this like 65, 70 range. I'll not be going long on it. I'll be looking for that 1550 reversal style trade there, guys. That's just the way I want to play it. DraftKings, I mean, I don't know. It just never wants to go. So I mean, it got in and out because we accidentally got into it. Then the breakout trade goes, what, 8 cents? And now it's holding at like 51.80. So barcoding in a 20-cent range after putting in that little dip, sustaining itself, and then making a break back into the upside here at 52. Essentially flat for me here. This was the close show. Guys, come back at 315 because it's always going to be a fantastic close. We always say we got to trade what moves. I should be getting out of this because it's doing absolutely nothing. And DraftKings, once again, better for swinging and investing, I feel, as a day trade. Every time I see something good on it, it just never seems to want to follow through for me here. So today seems no different, Sean. I don't know about this DraftKings, man.
Well, no, I mean, Neil, you got to rewind like a couple months, man. I've talked about, I think we've both probably talked about hating DraftKings in the middle of the day. Not even in the middle of the day, just if you don't have these open trades where you get the momentum, it's so tough to trade, and I think it'll change eventually. I just don't know if a lot of people, I don't know about the stock. It's just up and down and around. That's why I continue to hold it in the long term. Now it's in I have more shares in the long term than I want, but I do have a swing position on this one as well. I keep talking about getting out at these 52 levels, and I just should do it. I don't know why I'm not, but I'm not. Okay, but one thing I am not getting out of anytime soon. You guys laughed. Like a lot of people, when we were down here and I said, we were down in here and I was like talking about coming right back to $28, this is why I stick my neck out. I stick my neck out for you guys. I don't make calls after stocks have gone there. I'm trying to give you guys plays where we can actually together, make sense of them. And then, it's like why I said NVIDIA was going to be along from that call. I don't look back and say, well, I bought Palantir back down here. No, when I buy it, I tell you, there's Palantir. We talked about coming to this level. This was, again, another call. So I think right here, if, guys, okay, everyone trade their own account, that's fine. I'm not selling Palantir, but this is a good level. Like, we've been up here before, 29, 28. Like, if you're waiting for 29 and it's at 27.50, that's not a bad spot. Like, you can get out now, especially if you bought with me last time at 18.50. Like, that's $10 on 18. Look at that return, 10 on 18, all the way to the upside. How many days in a row has this been green? I mean, go back on my Twitter. You can just go crazy looking at it, and you'll see all the time Palantir to the point where it was like, am I actually Kathy Wood's nephew? Like, no, I am not. But we do like this. I mean, husband? How old is Kathy Wood? So we'll look at that. Maybe we'll find out her age, and I can tell you exactly. Maybe I'm her son. I don't know how old she is. But to the upside there, $29. We love us some Palantir. We've been loving it way before ARK Invest. So what's up, Rendo?
All right, guys, it is 10:30. That means coming up in 15 minutes, we have a great guest coming through, Evan Levine, co-founder, CEO, and director of SciBio, going to talk about SciBio and some of their initiatives in the psychedelic medical space. So stick around for that. Again, coming up in about 15 minutes. 1 hour left in the session over in Europe. Let's get a check on how things are doing over there with Miss V.
Hey Brandon, European markets are mostly negative, reacting to the rising number of COVID cases around the globe. Meanwhile, Nokia, trading in Helsinki, is up more than 6% after Goldman Sachs upgraded the stock. Back to you.
Yeah, we're back to exactly flat here, but a little bit negative across the pond this morning, guys.
I just finally got my dip buy in PaySafe. Talked about a couple of levels to the downside. Whoops, wow, that wick is aggressive at 350. That'd be a great price if you can get it. But pre-market low here, sitting at 1250. I guess my 15 minutes is going to look ridiculous, so probably I'll take a shot. Actually, it's not that bad. This is at 1240 level from the afternoon on Friday, and then support here in the pre-market. So that's what we just bought the dip in front of and waiting rather patiently for it. I was too patient, I feel like, on Tesla. It's not at 700 yet. But let's try to keep in mind, it didn't actually, remember we talked about 635, the break, and then 700, yeah. It never actually got to 700 last week, so I don't got pretty close. 698, we're still looking for a potential 700 break. First things first, Friday's high right here at 694, that is gonna come into play. This is that time of day though on Tesla where you often get small retracements or at least pullbacks into VWAP, whatever it might be. So I'll watch that 694 first on Tesla before thinking about that 700 level. So long, Palantir, PaySafe, and Clover for me. Clover just can't seem to get out of its own way. It does look like a bit of a dog this morning, but I don't want to miss an opportunity on Tesla, either pulling back off of Friday's high at 94 or that 7 even. All that said, 7 even still sets up for a break, and I'm going to like a 700 break. So 7 even. I'm going to like a 700 break, but it's hard not to think at this time of day for those shorts, at least first, at least scalping them anyways.
Okay, yeah, that was PaySafe. No, I didn't want to look at that. Oh yeah, I mean, Tesla, guys, again, like, you know, stuck my neck out last week for you guys on Tesla, and we were talking about that when it was low side, and I said just buy it when it was down here at 600. Now you're at 700 in a week. So there's another call for you with Tesla. Hopefully that was something that you guys took. And hey, if you like these calls, great. I'll keep on making them. If not, let me know, and we'll just continue to talk about these names that we're trading on here. I'm trying to just give a little different spin to the show here. Okay, so there goes Palantir again. And it's just scalping. Like, honestly, we held a lot of this position. We held a lot. Like Palantir, huge. My number one stock today is going to be Palantir or AMD, and it's Palantir right now because we're still holding a large percentage, more than half of what we took down here. We still have. So I'm trying to hold Palantir for a while. NASDAQ kicking up that 1% today, and we've been liking this name for a long time, and we'll just continue to do that and hold Palantir. My next offer is not till 27.39. So we do have a 27.39 offer out there. So if that comes through, that's where we'll get out. And then honestly, like, I wish this was doing something, Boeing. I don't wish it was going down. I obviously wish it was going up. But right now, just baselining down here for Boeing. So we're going to hold that trade. We have offers. I mean, I guess I got to put one now near VWAP. When we got out here, VWAP was, you know, a little bit higher. Now with all this volume coming in, it's starting to straighten out a bit. So we'll wait for where am I long again? 51. So, okay. So we're out of the money 80 cents. So I think if we can get back up into this area and take that exact same 80 cents around 242.20 or so, then we'll do that now that VWAP has come down a little bit here. So watch out for Boeing trying to take out the bottoms. That's never a good sign. So this is a stock that we have on watch right now.
So we'll do this, and you know, PaySafe gives you that nice little dip. Waiting for it in the pre-market. This is why one of the reasons we go over our preparation, because look, there's gonna be trades that we missed out on a dip buy, like a Tesla, only got like $3 or $4 away from it. There's trades that we'll hit on because it gives us the entry point, whether it's Nvidia or AMC, AMD, Neo for Sean. But PaySafe finally comes in and gives that 1250. Now that 45 is that low, so I wanted to make sure I was waiting until it got relatively close. If I'm literally buying 5 or 6 cents in front of a level like that, I want to take 10, I want to take some out in front of that cluster, I want to take some out in front of VWAP, and then see if we can make that run. It was a breakout trade, and then since that, talk about the hit it or quit it that Sean mentioned, you wait patiently for the only level you like on a dip buy, and if I had done that in Clover, I'd be feeling a heck of a lot better, because then I'd only have long at like about 12.90 or 13, but instead I've been buying it all the way through, with the notion that, and look, there's a method to, at least I hope there's a method to the madness, that you did have nice little breaks, and then you've had this sort of consolidation starting on Friday down around the 1280, higher low here at 1290, and then holding that same 1290, looking for a break back up into this 14 being the resistance. So risking a little bit more, like a 20 or 30 or 40 cents, made a heck of a lot of sense to me, thinking we'd at least be testing towards some of these highs here. But unlike some of the other squeeze names, which are all seeming to run. It looks like Clover is the one getting left behind. So if you put the same trade on, if you're looking at Workhorse today, I mean, heck, Nickel is even running as well, those in the EV space. But the squeeze in Clover today has yet to come, clearly.
Yeah, so that's, we're looking at Alf squeezing around as well, man. Alf bouncing off that 1850 one more time. What's up, Brendan?
Beyond Meat, guys, just saw this story popped up. It was actually a little bit earlier this morning, but Beyond Meat partnering with DoorDash to offer exclusive grilling kits for the long weekend coming up this weekend. So BYND having a nice day.
Oh yeah, we like BYNB. I mean, look, but Beyond Meat was a great one. I still remember when Arun was here, we were hosting that show that day, and whoops, there goes my chart is now busted. So we'll have to go back on that. But we liked Beyond Meat. I can't believe what a great, close this program. What a great move for Beyond Meat, guys. It was down. What I was going to tell you was that 112 area that we bought it. So now you're up to 157, up 7% today. I told you Beyond Meat, I think, is the real one. So watch out for that stock as it's Rip City over there.
Yeah, Beyond Meat could be a bit of a mover here. I just want to go back over. I did take some out. I got the fill on PaySafe. I don't know why it didn't just go over my chart. So there we go. PaySafe. No. PaySafe is on the New York, Neil. It's kind of hilarious to me that, like, I'll trade a stock every single, well, not every single day, but have my quote board every single day and be looking at it. And then I will still fall for the whole notion that if it's 4 letters, it's got to be a NASDAQ stock. Like, I've been doing this way too long that hasn't been a thing for probably 15 years in the markets. Anyways, that's just how long we've been trading. It's kind of ridiculous. But that first 10-cent scalp, now we're pulling back in on PaySafe. I will buy the dips. We're trying to get out here. I will buy the dip in front of that 1245 level one more time if it gets down there, and then try to rinse and repeat on PaySafe to the long. I still have my Palantir, and I feel like there's not a heck of a lot of a reason to get out of that breakout trade. It didn't dip as far as I liked, so I didn't get back into it. But at this particular point, I mean, you go all the way back and you go to like a 27.75 level and then up here like a 30 even. So which one are we getting to first? 27.75 gives you a 50 break potentially still, but Palantir has a way of having non-parabolic moves to the upside, if that makes sense. Linear is the way to think about it. And when it's doing it, you just kind of try to play pullbacks and breakouts and stay net long if you can. 75 is the obvious level for me here when you go to this daily chart. So we'll probably be waiting for that to get flat on Palantir. The only long, like I said, Clover is the one that's not working out. And then MBIS is now testing again to that high. So 585, it's at 560 and looking to fail again.
Chicken dinner winners are just flying around, guys. I mean, there's again, we talked about Palantir and, you know, big time win, man, to the upside. Like, wow, on that one. You guys, you want to talk about NEO a little bit here? Good trade on NEO. We talked about that 46.50 level. We could show you on a 20-minute why we liked it. That was a good break spot for us right here, 46.50. We did talk about that level. It's on the sticky note, so that's a big, big win for me there today. One of my top stocks goes NEO, goes AMD, and goes, well, Palantir, we just talked about it. So ALF is getting close, man. ALF is getting really close. We talked about that 1850 bottom level, so we're excited for that one. I'm still holding my PaySafe, man. I have a lot of shares, so we're going to hold that one and see where that one goes from here. And yeah, so Palantir, big position for me. That one's good to go. Fisker making new news. I know you're busy, Brendan, but I was just wondering, like, why, you know, why some of these cannabis plays today? Grow Generation brands up huge. Tilray today, again, you know, I would like a, Brendan's going to be in Sector Watch, but I would like to see Tilray go a little bit higher. And I'll load up my daily chart when we get back from Sector Watch with Brendan at the big screen.
Yeah, let's get a quick look at the overall market here, guys. I'll show you a board that is exactly 50-50, split one way and the other. We're dead flat, down 0.01 currently. Most of the negativity coming from the energy group, as you can see right out of the bat, and then consumer discretionary also in negative territory. But there is some things of note that are positive, mainly tech stocks. The NASDAQ still trying to lead. There's NVIDIA, ENPH, both about 4% to the upside. So nice day for the semiconductor group down here now over here. XLNX, AMAT, both 2% as well to the upside. Some of the software makers are negative on the day, but there's enough kind of offsetting that to the upside. Hardware makers as well. Apple, they're standing out 1.4% in positive territory. But yeah, I mentioned that slide 1.2, it's about 1.5% for crude now. So all of the oil names getting hit so far today. Over here as well, some of the travel names. Here's the airlines, AAL, UAL, and DAL, all down 4% on the day. Let's talk about some more of these. Here's the cruise line, CCL, RCL, NCLH, 6% in negative territory. Etsy had a minor headline this morning. They acquired a company over in Europe, retailer, 5.6% for them to the upside. GPS, LB, LKQ, all offsetting that to the downside. We mentioned banks as well under pressure to start off the new weeks. Diversified banks, insurance companies, every single one of them in negative territory. Real quick, utility stocks here, 5.3 for this NRG, NEE, and AWK, about 2%. So material stocks and some of the semiconductors, really the bright spot so far today, guys. We are, exactly flat right now for the S&P. Back over to you.
Thank you, Brendan. And we talked a couple of levels on Tesla here. 700 obviously, but 694 we showed you guys at Friday's top, that high that it couldn't get through. It turns at 694.70 up here a couple of times through that. It then breaks down this cluster here at 692. So I entered the short position, quick little scalp, because I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You had that previous high at 691. Should probably take some out for a scalp trade there. Likely that if there was a bounce to come shallow and then retest the high, it was likely to be that price. I want to make sure I could get back in if it tested 694 again. For now, rolling over. I love Tesla. We talked about it all last week, but this is just more like a setup kind of thing. And if I see that setup, I'm going to try to play the short. I miss it often because I get too bullish, but it is not even touched or even sniffed VWAP at any point. So I'll probably get out in front of 87, 88 in this range here for that scalp win. If it wants to retest that high of the day, I think it might be worth one more shot. And then from there, you're just talking 700 people. That's going to be an obvious level. If it continues to not even get to VWAP here, I think 700 seems inevitable. But if I see a short setup for a quick little win, we're going to make sure we get that money, even if the trend is the other way. Brendo?
Just checking on those cannabis stocks, guys. And there was actually a note from the Financial Post on the weekend, it looks like. So this was out on Saturday from FP, talking about sales growth and growth in general as far as plans are concerned. For Canopy, anyways, very robust at this point. So the entire group, as we saw, in positive territory today, it looks, guys.
Good. Yeah, and that's why, I want to thank you, Brendan, for that note. We wanted to look at Tilray a little bit here as, it's above the 50 period. And again, invested in this one off my Afria shares. And then now you're going to get to the upside here. And we always talk about fading these moves, like all day, every day. If you can fade some of these moves, I think that's a good idea. I don't know about these levels right now. I think, would rather come back to 19 a little bit. We're at 1880 right now. So I do like to fade some of these. And then, my largest position by far in the marijuana space is Canopy. So that's been a good one for us, obviously, from some of these bottoms. But again, unless you, and I was able, I get it out. Like I get them out, not every time, but when we do pop, I start to get some out. We're right here at the 50 period. So my next outs for these will probably be above 30. But again, these are sort of some of those plays that you have to have in your portfolio just in case. So I think you should always have some Canopy in there for sure. And then we talked about why Grow Generation Brands continues to move upside. It's the Home Depot there of marijuana. So we love Grow Generation Brands. Again, now that you can grow certain plants, I don't know the rules in each state, but I know here in Canada, it's like 4 plants per person. So everyone, growing them inside in the winter, blah, blah, blah. So there is lots of possibility there for GRWG, which is why that's rifling through. NVIDIA, like my long at $6 is just amazing. I have never getting out of this one, so it doesn't really matter. Just reviewing some of the moves up. I know Neil had a good trade on NVIDIA as that's approaching this day's high. Not the same for AMD. It's come off, but look at that out, man. Right there at 88. I have like 3% of this position. This one here, 1 time, 2 times, and then straight to the upside. So that's been a big win for us today. And then Palantir, we just got out at the very top there at 27.40. So that was good. We talked about, I told you my last offer was going to be at 27.39. So there it is. I don't know how he picked that top, but that was the top there. That was a very fluky top, if I may say so myself.
I did say earlier that I wasn't that interested in Sundial because I kind of showed you that what was going on at the dollar even area, not enough necessary interest there for me. So I'm just not a huge fan of it. It's barcoding off this dollar level. Now you can see on Friday, last week, you did have a big cluster there as well. And this is what I mean by it's barcoding. So I love that term, and it's the best way to describe what's going on with the stock. But right at a buck even, I might be looking at a short if this breaks $1 here. I just think like risking to like 101 or 102 is too juicy not to have a look at that. So I mean, Tesla's in the money, a couple of bucks here, but I'm now watching Sundial for a break at 1. We are finally ready. We're waiting for our guest of the day, and I think it's going to be a fantastic interview. As always, go right over to Brennan at the desk. Let's get it started.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Yeah, SciBio joining us today, a U.S.-based biotech company looking and developing a new set and a new kind of drug therapies using psychedelic medicines. Evan Levine, co-founder and CEO, joins us today to tell us a little bit about SciBio. It's great to have you, Evan. First off, welcome to the show. Give everyone an overview of SciBio and tell us a little bit about how the company got started.
Certainly. So thank you very much for having me today. Appreciate being here. So SciBio Therapeutics, I am CEO and chairman of that company, is an intellectual property-driven biotechnology company focused on using psychedelic plants and compounds within these plants and fungi to treat a whole variety of disorders. So these plants and fungi that we're working with have been around for thousands and thousands of years, and there's a tremendous amount of evidence that they've been used to treat human malady for all this time. And there's evidence in cave paintings. There is references in the Bible in biblical times to using psychedelic drugs for therapeutic benefit. Throughout pre-Victorian times and the Industrial Revolution to discovery of the quantum. Actually, Francis Crick claims to have invented the double helix while on LSD. So we're working with compounds that have a lot of evidence throughout history that could demonstrate this therapeutic benefit. And we're one of a small group of people in a brand new industry that is using these drugs for testing for human conditions.
Evan, we understand that intellectual property is very key when it comes to this sector and this industry. Tell us where the company stands as far as the research side of things goes and on the actual IP aspect for SciBio.
Certainly. So, when investing in a biotechnology company, or pretty much any type of company, you want to look at a couple of things. Number one, the people. Do the people have experience, or the people really behind and excited about what they're doing? And then is there a real asset that's being developed under intellectual property? Well, the way this company was formed is a collaboration around Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. And late in 2019, a young faculty member there, Dr. Andrew Jones, got published in Journal Metabolic Engineering for a research first, being able to use genetically modified bacteria to grow psilocybin. So with those discoveries late in 2019, intellectual property was initially filed against the ability to grow psilocybin from a prokaryotic host. We expanded that tremendously since our group came in and funded the university and the project. So we've been filing patents throughout the life of the company. First patents were for the production of psilocybin from genetically modified bacteria. We then went and expanded that intellectual property into other metabolites within a magic mushroom, which we're focused on aragonacin, baocystin, or baocystin. We filed cross compositions of matter based on activity that we've seen in preclinical demonstration within our own laboratories at the university. And we continue to file new intellectual property pretty much every 6 to 8 weeks. We would expect to be adding to our portfolio. But within this space, it's very challenging because nobody owns these actual molecules. You could only own a methodology to produce them. You could possibly own combinations if you show enough data, but nobody owns psilocybin. Nobody owns these other molecules.
Evan, it's an interesting space because of the importance of the development side of it being still in the infancy, and there are still quite a few legality restrictions and overall regulations that need to kind of be moved in the right direction as far as psychedelics, both in the U.S. and in Canada. That being said, you talked a little bit there about the importance of the team. Tell us, some of the team members and why, SciBio is a little bit further ahead maybe as far as the development side because of the people that are behind some of this research.
Certainly. Yeah, I appreciate the question. So I'm the leader of the company. I'm chairman and CEO. I've been working in different areas of life sciences most of my career. I worked in investment banking in healthcare. I worked in portfolio management in healthcare, where I ran a $500 million portfolio of investments directly into biotechnology and technology companies. I got the experience in portfolio management, and then I ended up buying up an insolvent biotechnology company down in San Diego, which I had taken from OTC up to American Stock Exchange, and grew that company from practically zero to over a $500 million high tick. But more importantly than the capital markets expertise I had brought to this company, I've actually run phase 2Bs, phase 3s, pivotal studies, bioequivalent studies, North America, South America, and Europe. I've got extensive experience interacting with the FDA and the EMA. But, you know, I sit on the shoulders of giants. I've actually built an incredible team around me. Our new chief medical officer started a few months ago, Dr. Michael Spigarelli. I think that as far as competition in the space, very few other companies have a professional of this accomplishment. So Dr. Spigarelli is board certified in pediatrics and internal medicine. He got his PhD in medicinal chemistry. He was chair of the American Board of Clinical Pharmacologists for 4 years. And to trump all that, Mike has run over 6,000 studies and submitted thousands and thousands of FDA submissions. And Mike is leading our effort here to take our drugs into the clinic. We have Dr. Andrew Jones at the university, the inventor. Dr. Jones's lab has a multitude of students, PhDs, research scientists, postdocs working on this. And we have over 50 people at the university actually working on this project. But Dr. Jones is responsible for new discoveries. So he looks to optimize pathways and tease out high value targets out of genetically modified bacteria. Also at the university, we expanded our collaboration to the biopsychology department, and Dr. Matt McBurry runs that department, where we have our own dedicated vivarium at Miami University, where on a daily basis, we're able to run these tests, multiple behavioral rodent tests, to determine optimized values of the portfolio of the tryptamines that we are building.
Let's expand on the research, specifically with the University of Miami. What's the end goal for this trial? Tell us a little bit about, is it one maybe potential treatment that you're targeting, or multiple? And where is the trial at this point as far as timeline? Are we getting, towards the end?
We are. So, as I said, psilocybin was the first inning for Psi-Biotherapeutics, but we have successfully produced another drug, norbeocystin, at significant titers. So we have taken both of those drugs out of the laboratories of Miami University, and both are being processed right now in different commercial manufacturing facilities that are ramping up our clinical batches towards the end of this year. We're going to be approaching the FDA for our first pre-IND meeting in the next couple of months, and the target is to file our first IND by the end of this year and be in the clinic in 2022.
Evan Levine, co-founder, CEO of SciBio, with us. Recent listing on the OTC markets as well. Evan, tell us any plans in the future as far as an additional uplisting for the company.
So we had just gotten listed on February 25th this year on the Toronto Stock Exchange Venture Division. We trade under symbol PSYB. We recently got an OTC markets listing on the pink sheets, PSYBF, which we expect to be converted into QB, hopefully in the next couple of days. We're also listed on the Frankfurt Exchange, but the goal is to ultimately be on the NASDAQ. So sometime in 2022, that is an internal goal for Psi-Biotherapeutics.
Evan Levine, co-founder, CEO, and director of SciBio. A pleasure to speak with you today. It's an interesting concept and an interesting space. We look forward to an update in the future.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me.
Have a great day. SciBio, guys. Check them out.
Thanks as always, Brendan. Another fantastic interview, guys. And like we said, it's, on the Venture Exchange here, we had the chart up for you guys. Still some movement happening in the market. And look, I paint a picture right at MRIN here, and it's going to be hard to ignore this. It halts to the upside at 607. I missed a 585 break. That kind of stinks because I suck. And then it tries. I actually thought it was about to halt again at 660, but has now held a high at 665. One thing you guys remember, air until like $8 in terms of key level. So it's just a halt trade for me. Like if there's a halt entry point, that's what I'd be looking for, and it did not give one here. MRIN still off to the races. Significant levels only at that $8 range, Sean.
Yeah, exactly. We're still held on to Boeing as well. That didn't tip us out. We're at that 240 level, so we've been watching on that one. There's Miss V doing the moonwalk there at 1,500. Thank you for all the likes, guys. It should be a lot higher than that, but I won't peddle you guys to do that. I just want you to share the show if you can and get as many likes as possible on that and get as many of your friends watching and everything, your kids, anything you want watching us there. But right now, I'm still holding this pay safe. I'm going to hold this pretty much all day. We have some levels down here at 12. That's going to be an out for me. I'm not here just to scalp this thing. I'm going to be scalping it, but that was a good out there. So now we'll wait. We just got to wait for it to come back in. Probably a loser, but we'll wait for 12 bucks. This doesn't move great in the middle of the day. We've talked about that over and over again. Neo, the big win for me. Like, what a clean move. Bang, clean, guys, right? Like, this is what you got to do. You take some out, you hold some, and then you still got some, so you got to wait for that one on the upside here. Boeing comes screaming back in for us to be flat now. I think this is probably a good spot to take a little bit out. I don't even have any offers, so right now, to take Neil's word, gift horse right here. It's come all the way back in for us, so good trade here for us, back to this level, probably worth taking a little bit out. So we'll do that on Boeing. And then after that, man, all is the same. So we'll just continue to look at some of these names. I love that Roblox trade through 93. Tilray, sell anything that pops here in the afternoon. But good day, good interview. And we're back at 315, guys.
Yeah, I should have mentioned, I did cover that Tesla trade. We talked about the rollover short, so I did get out when it broke that 89. Like, it tried to get to 88 where my target was, but it was basing out at 89, so I said forget about an extra 70 cents. We'll just get out of it. The rollover was good. 694 is that first level. Still in a clean upward trend, which is trying to get broken here, I think. But 700 very much in play, especially because we're going to be back at the close. I can't promise we're going to be trading a Tesla, but I do expect that we're going to be coming back in the afternoon, and there's a lot moving. I expect MRIN will still be going. I do expect Virgin Galactic, maybe we'll actually find ourselves in a trade there. But it's been a fantastic morning to start the week off, and I think it is going to be even more explosive because it usually is coming with that closed show. There's one thing we got to do before we get out of here. Someone that wears all green, and the ES is literally 0.01% to the upside here, and Miss V is in green. Mark Roberts wore green as well, so I feel like we have all of our bases covered. But you also have to give us what national day it is today. This doesn't make me hungry at all. Not this one.
Good to know, Neil. Well, guys, once again, happy start of the trading week. Don't miss us too much, as we'll be back at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time to trade the close together. Guys, enjoy the rest of the day, and happy National Alaska Day. Sean, have you been in Alaska?
I have not been to Alaska, but I like to do a cruise around there. I think that looks pretty beautiful. But yeah, lots of stuff. Alaska, pretty close to Canada, so we have lots of fun and love for you guys. One of our traders of the day, our guest trader of the day, was from Alaska, one of our very first ones. So we do have some reach up there, but beautiful, beautiful part of the country for sure. Never been there. Bucket list, yeah, possibly.
I've heard good things about like cruises up to Alaska,
exactly,
right?
yeah.
Like, well, I mean, it's a little bit of a different experience. It's not the heat and the Caribbean cruise, but seeing some fantastic views out there, seeing the whales, which I've never done. I've never seen the whales, which is crazy because I'm always out east. But I'd love to do it at some point. Love to get on the water. Love to see it. Brendan, Alaska.
I have not been there, but likewise, definitely would go. Absolutely stunning and beautiful, and I'm sure there's a few of you guys out there that are watching possibly from there now. So yeah, great place.
I love it. The chat saying, "What's up with Workhorse?" Yeah, I know. Like the market doesn't stop. Workhorse is a mover. I know we probably didn't have a trade in it here today. We looked at some of the other names that were moving for you. It has come back rather heavily after failing at 18. I know I thought it would go to 1850 before turning around. This is another one that I expect when we come back at 315. You're going to see Workhorse likely involved in some trades for us in addition to Tesla, MRIN, which continues to churn through volume, guys. It's been an absolutely fun and wild morning. There was a question that I do want to get to because when we were talking about MRIN there, someone said, why does the stock halt? So very, very quickly, it's actually a good idea for us. Maybe at some point we'll do a video about this, but volatility halts happen when a stock moves too fast, too far. It's about 10% in about like 5 minutes. Every market has a different rule. It then triggers a 5 or 10 minute halt of trade. This one was 5 minutes. It opens back up. This is some of these circuit breakers are due to, after the flash crash, some new rules that came in to give market structure. So if you have an opportunity to learn about these, you do not want to get caught in halts unless you have a good way of getting in and out of them. They can be pretty violent. In this particular case, it's been pretty good for price discovery in terms of MRIN, because you can see it stabilized a bit going into that halt. So that's all it was. Nothing too crazy, just 1 5-minute halt here. Sometimes you'll see 5 or 6 in a row. They can be unbelievable trading opportunities. We just haven't seen one of those in a little bit. For the entire team, want to make sure I got that in there because we're all about learning, and I can't help myself. Ms. V, who's going to be getting some new green. Thanks for that super chat. For Brennan Wickens, great interview as always. We know it always is. I'm Neil Roberts, and for my man Sean Katina, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. See you at the close, guys.
Bye, guys.